joints right here, man, that you play when you feeling down on your ism, right? Play this shit right here and resuscitate your pimping and get you right back on your mission, right? For you hoes, this that shit you play when you ain't feeling like super hoe today. Play this shit right here and spark up your hoeing and get you right back going, you dig? Dig this. Pimps for real, don't mistake it for fashion. The turf that birthed my reputation for mashing was the track with active, attractive hoes. Professional goers that attract the dough. Like magnets to metal, never settle. We scorching them fag bitches pedal for them portions. My whores win it all. Not the ones on the sideline wishing but didn't ball in the guidelines. My bitches did it all. Down 7 below in the snow for dough. Over 120 in the sun for fun. They mash for hours, hooker baths, not showers. Bright and early, down and dirty for the cash and power. They gotta get the cash, the towers, and reach it all to a pimp. In my position, I'm all but exempt. These bras not wimps, I'm like them renegade bitches. BFFs with tricks but never getting paid riches. Grenade bitches, they dynamite, blowing up on the pimpin' and missing when the time is right. But when they life gets strife, they see pimpin' shining bright, but they action is life without. Bitch, one strike, you out. Can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga. See, that's the difference, nigga. The pimpin' mashing for these riches, nigga. Nothing like you master magician niggas. Smoking mirrors with your game, hella extras to reflect the opposite appearance of a lame. Bitches coming from y'all, I can't rock with those. Tender-footed and rooted in them doctor shows. Soft shoe rituals, minute residuals. Papers on life support, your loots and critical. Something I learned about when running my earned route and working with turnouts is murdering burnouts. Cause knocking one of you niggas for a scarred bitch, that's knocking one of you niggas for some garbage. I'm heartless regardless, empty with sympathy, but banked up to the max with pimpathy. No remedy for me, I'm like this. My life is vice grip, synced in permanent ink. You can't rewrite this. My blood type is P positive, beautifully deposited with a lot of it. I'm popping this shit, and when I pop it so hard I make a trapping ass bad bitch wanna hoe hard. Can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga. Come on, pimpin', man, pop that shit. Show these sucker niggas they can't stop that shit. Let these hookers know if they wanna cop that shit. Treat the bag like it's hot, bitch, and drop that shit. And to you hoes, if you ever took a loss, bitch, show these bitches how to bounce back like a boss, bitch. Let them know that the best way to floss, bitch, is reach that paper to some pimpin' hoe and toss it. Can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga. Joints right here, man, that you play when you feeling down on your ism, right? Play this shit right here and resuscitate your pimping and get you right back on your mission, right? For you hoes, this that shit you play when you ain't feeling like super hoe today. Play this shit right here and spark up your hoeing and get you right back going, you dig? Dig this. Pimps for real, don't mistake it for fashion. The turf that birthed my reputation for mashing was the track with active, attractive hoes. Professional goers that attract the dough. Like magnets to metal, never settle. We scorching them fag bitches pedal for them portions. My whores win it all. Not the ones on the sideline wishing but didn't ball in the guidelines. My bitches did it all. Down 7 below in the snow for dough. Over 120 in the sun for. Here we go with some more game. Yeah. Y'all already know. Your first order of business when you step into a pimp's domain, wipe your feet off at the door, hit that like button. While we get ready to get into this game, y'all already know my first order of business. Gots to hydrate my pimping. Put some love in my body. Some of this good H to the Izzo. Yes. Okay. Hold up. Okay. Yeah, man, we gonna pop some game tonight, man. We gonna pop some game about this game, talk about this game. You know what I mean? Kick this game around. Yeah, because I know how it gets sometimes, man. You know, when you serious about this game, when you true to this game, hey man, especially with so much stuff going on in these times, man, it's hard to keep your batteries charged. It's hard to stay fired up about this shit sometimes. Sometimes. You know, and then when you got a routine going on, things might be going good for you, but you on this routine and things sometimes get monotonous and you got to break the monotony, man. So that's what a pimp here for. You did. But something caught a pimp's eye earlier today, and I wanted to talk about it with y'all. Let me show y'all what's going on. So I seen this post earlier today. And let me play it for y'all. So to give y'all some understanding about this post, you know, these people was on E14, and as you can see, it's a few young men right here with their hands behind their back. And what you about to see is them in the process of getting at a 304 on E14. Here we go.
Who she like? Who does she like? You like Rail? You like Jones? Who you like, bitch? Hey, bitch, you're going on Rail TV, bitch. Yeah, we gotta find out if the hoe's solid. What you gonna do, hoe? Hey, bitch, you like somebody? Who you like? It's lit, man. We on the phone, 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 man. We got some good pimps out here. Yeah, man, we got some good participants out here, man. Yeah, man. She likes somebody, but it's all in the eyes. Yeah, we thugging out here, man.
Okay, now, so as you can see, hold on. As you can see, the young men had the young female surrounded, and they was, you know, shooting a shot at her. All of the guys, from what it appeared, you know, was endeavoring to have that young lady as a representative of whatever they got going on, right? They wanted to have her for themselves, right? So they all shooting a shot. Now, for those of y'all unfamiliar, this is something that goes on a nightly and daily basis in California. You know, California is the blade capital, the track capital, the hoe stroke capital of you know, at least of America. There's no other state that has more tracks than California. There's no other state with probably not even half the blades that California has. You know, it's probably over 100 active blades in California. You know, at least. So with this being said, this is something that goes on. Now, this ain't going on every blade, but a lot of the active blades in California, you know, is common to see stuff like this, right? So, so y'all seen that. Now we're gonna go through and check the comments out. Now, a lot of these people are participants in the game one way or another. Or maybe at some point in time, they was participants in the game. You know, but one way or another, however it goes, they're people that you would imagine are familiar with the game to some capacity, right? So the caption says, is this sweating or harassing? Drop your comments. So this first person, Real 304 Pro, as the name implies, I would imagine she's a real 304. But she says, harassment at its finest. Do you want your B getting harassed like this? But to be old as F and still doing this is crazy. Right? So this is hey, it just goes to show you, man. It's a lot of I'm gonna just break this one comment down that this young lady said right here, this Real 304 Pro, right? And it's no knock to her, and it's nothing personal towards her. But, you know, I use the game as my measuring stick, and I put the game up against everybody and measure, you know, how true to this game they are based on how they measure up against the game, right? So when I put her, or at least this comment that she made, which says a lot about her, against the game, this is what I see. When she says harassment at its finest, that translates to me as, you know, everybody in the game is supposed to have girlfriends, you know, or at least treat their 304s like girlfriends. So if everybody is treating their 304s like girlfriends, then they not going to cheat on their 304 by trying to have another 304. I know that sounds crazy, but, you know, I'm translating. You like, Freeze, cheating? How a pimp cheat on the 304? It's not possible, but this is the mindset of a lot of these people in the game. And it's not just the chicks. You know, a lot of these dudes encourage this stuff, influence this stuff, this type of mindset and behavior that goes along with it. But that's what I translate this as, harassment at its finest. So, you know, because anything, when it comes to some of these chicks, anything that a pimp does in an effort to have a 304, they gon' consider it and categorize it as harassment one way or another. That's just what they do. You know, a pimp just saying something to a 304 while she's on the blade. He could be in his car, you know, getting at her through the window. Some people in the game consider everything harassment. You just not supposed to talk to a chick while she down. You're not supposed to talk to her, period, because where's your 304? I mean, girlfriend. You know, you don't see my folks, I mean, boyfriend, you know, trying to get at your 304, I mean, girlfriend. So why are you trying to get at me? Can't you see I'm taking? You know, that's what I translate from that. So then she see to reaffirm what I'm talking about, she says, do you want your B getting harassed like this? So exactly, you know, see, this is the thing, right? And wait, I'll get into that in a second. But when she says, do you want your B getting harassed like that? You know, it's basically like, do you want somebody saying anything to your B? And then she say, but to be old as F and still doing this is crazy. You know, a lot of these people be thinking they're going to be young forever, so they make comments like that, But shit, the way y'all be doing drugs and, putting yourself in reckless situations, shit, a lot of y'all better hope and pray that you make it to be old. Shit. So then this R Mac BFG, I'm guessing he's, a gentleman in the game. I don't know. Move around. This ain't 16 activities, harassment at its finest. So, again, I translate that as a square comment, whatever the case. And then it's Fly Gal Blessed and Fine 323. She says, whoever heard daddy slipping, laugh my ass off because y'all messing with her money at that point. So, and see, this is a common thing. That's what they say all the time. When they see a chick getting sweated like this, they say that, you messing with their money. But again, these are the same type of people that, she might not be surrounded. It might be just 1P popping at her from his car window. And they'll still say that, you stopping her from getting her money. You're just not supposed to talk to 304s is what a lot of these people think. But see, so before we go into more comments, I'm going to point some things out about this video. Let's take a look.
Hey, man, who she like? Who she like?
I'm trying to catch a good shot. Because if you pay attention, like, she must like somebody because she's not really trying to get away. And then, something else you got to understand about a lot of these chicks, right? We in the clout era. So a lot of these chicks are clout demons. And of course, clout comes with attention. That's ultimately what it is. People just love attention. And a lot of these young ladies that call themselves 304s, it's stuff like this that is the main reason why they go outside. See, what they don't understand is like when this chick say, y'all messing with her money at this point, and then somebody else said that too. Oh, right here. He say clownish behavior. She can't even work with without these hot breath niggas in her face. So people is making it seem like they stopping her from working or they're getting in the way of her money some type of way. Right. But a chick see, for you squares at home who ain't never been outside on the blade and been up close and personal with the get down on the blade and how things move and shake around there. Let me tell you something, man. There is no such thing as pimping stopping the 304 from getting to her money. When a chick want to get her money, she's going to be busy. She's not even going to be available to this type of activity because she's going to be too busy going from one date to the next date to the next date to the next date. She's not going to have enough idle time to be, in this type of situation. Chicks who end up in this type of situation is the ones who be in their phone while tricks is riding past, tricks that want to date them, tricks that want to give them some money. They're not paying attention to the money. So, the only person who can get in the way of her money is herself. At least in this kind of situation. You dig? So, and then furthermore, like I said, I was trying to catch a good shot, but if you pay attention to her demeanor and her facial expression, her energy, she's not even trying to get away. At one point, she walks away out of the circle and then walks back into it. Look at this shit.
Real? You like?
See, look at her.
Who you like, bitch?
Ah, man, I missed it. It was a good shot right there where you could see her smiling. As soon as she turned her head is when I pressed the damn play button.
Hey, bitch, you're going on Real TV, bitch.
See, she was pretty much out of the circle and she walked back into it. She did an about face back into the circle. So she might not like everybody in the circle, but I guarantee you, my expert analysis is that she likes somebody in that circle. There's at least one of those guys that she's digging on, and she don't want to just be all the way out of pocket and tell him, but one of them guys over there she likes.
Yeah, we gotta find out if the whole solid.
See, you can see it in her facial expression, like she likes somebody. See, look, she walks away and then she turns around. Look at that. She was away out of the circle and then she turned around and came back. There's somebody over there that she likes. Why do you think the person on the microphone, keep on saying, you like somebody? He said that multiple times because that person is a veteran in the game and they know,
It's lit, man. We on the phone, 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 man. We got some good pimps out here. Yeah, man. We got some good participants out here, man. Yeah, man.
See, look, she likes somebody over there.
She likes somebody. It's all in the eyes. Yeah, we thugging out here, man.
And then look what happens. The police roll past, and by guys seeing the police ride past, they kind of ease back up off of her, so they don't look too crazy. But even after they eased up off of her, when the police rolled past, she still didn't really try to get away from the situation. She's still in the midst of peace. It's some guys in that car that might want to have her. It's some guys all around is trying to have her, but she's still walking around. But see, I want to break something down. Hold on. Okay, that was pretty much the end of it. See, let me explain to you why guys even do how these kind of situations even happen, right? Because, like I say all the time, acknowledgement is encouragement, right? So when you acknowledge something, you encourage something. When you acknowledge somebody, you encourage somebody. So for a 304, when you acknowledge a pimp, you encourage a pimp to stay at you until he got you. You dig? So that's all of this is, in a form of acknowledgement from a 304 to a PI is that, moving around slowly, getting an all you could hear buffet of this game, filling your ears with everything that everybody around you got to say, like you tuned in to PTV. You exploring your options around there. Right. So this is why those guys were encouraged to do this, because she gave somebody some acknowledgement, and they all they obliged her. So that's why this type of stuff goes on, right? Now, from a P's perspective, this is how a P is thinking about it. Like, oh, she moving around real slow. She kind of grinning lightweight. You know what I mean? She done walked away and then walked back up to us several times. She want to choose somebody around here. And that could be true. But what's most likely the case is that she just likes the attention. Right? So it's a waste of time. You know what I mean? That's what I want people to understand. Like, these type of situations should never happen, not because, it's harassment and all this old type of stuff. No, that's not why it should never happen. It should never happen because these are the type of chicks that's a waste of time and put you in highly volatile situations. I mean, look at this chick.
Man, who she like? Who she like?
See, you could even see it in her face. Like, she just likes the attention, really. You know what I mean? Like, you could see that in her face that she's not in distress. She's not, because it's not hard to get away. And if you pay attention, everybody that's
surrounding her, they all have their hands behind their back. So nobody's grabbing her. Nobody's even touching her. They surrounding her, and the only thing they touching her with is words. That's it. And eye contact. But there's no physical contact going on. But like I said, chicks like this with these sandals on, and she probably got a cheap little outfit from, whatever the equivalent to the Sloss and Swap Meet is in Oakland. She got one of them little cheap little stripper outfits on. She doesn't speak winner. Like when I read her, I don't hear or feel anything about I came to win. She probably ain't caught no dates out there, and if she has caught any dates, she probably only made like less than $100 off of 2 or 3 condoms. You know what I mean? Like, these type of people is not just a waste of time, but people who chase clout, they like dope fiends. They strung out. And people who are strung out, they don't have principles. They don't have values. People that are strung out, they not standing on nothing. Like y'all like to say, stand on business. People that strung out, they not standing on business. And that's what, these type of people are. Like me, I would you'll never find me in this kind of situation, first of all. But second of all, I wouldn't even say nothing to this girl, even if I seen her after this by herself. I'm not saying nothing to her, because this is what you got to look forward to if you her folks. If she chooses you, this is what you got to look forward to. And then in order for her to see this, let me give y'all some real game, man, about this game. Chicks like this don't make no real money because they don't want no real money. It's not like she's incapable. She just don't want to, because she don't want nothing in life but some attention. That's it. Right? So she really can't even afford a pimp. See, pimps have big appetites. Pimps are expensive. And she cannot afford a pimp. She doesn't have a big enough appetite for herself, let alone an appetite big enough to suffice hers and the pimping's appetite. She don't have the appetite to be able to maintain a pimp, let alone acquire a pimp. She can't acquire a pimp. She can't maintain a pimp, and then not just that. See, when I say afford, I'm not talking about only monetarily. She just doesn't have anything that it takes to maintain a pimp. Being able to think big enough, to want to cater to a pimp, to want to do things to make a pimp happy, right? This gonna make a pimp want to, reciprocate that same energy, do things to make her happy, go out of her way for a pimp. This chick, she probably don't know how to do laundry. She probably don't know how to wash dishes. She probably don't know how to fold clothes. Y'all think this is simple stuff, but I'm telling you, a lot of people do not know how to do this shit. You like, fold clothes, who don't know how to do that? Wash dishes, who don't know how to do that? A lot of these young females out here do not know how to do that. You know what I mean? A lot of y'all looking at your phone more than you looking at dishes the whole time when you washing dishes. You ever seen some dishes get allegedly washed by somebody, and then you come behind them and you every dish, every spoon, fork, knife, saucer, plate, bowl, everything got, residue and stains on it, and you like, damn, did you really wash the dishes? You know what I mean? Or they put, if they got a dishwasher, They putting dishes in the dishwasher with hard ass food on them, and they think the dishwasher is a magician, you know. They think the dishwasher is David Blaine and gonna make some shit disappear. This hard and stuck to these, it'd be stuff like that, right? So, but I say all of that to say, this ain't even nobody that a pimp want. She not a bad looking young lady, but her presentation just screams that she didn't come to win. She didn't step outside with the mindset and the attitude and the energy of a winner. And, it's a waste of a pimp's time to try to provoke that in her. If it's not there, if this chick don't want to win, if she not trying to be living good and riding good and making power moves and things like that, it's a waste of your time and energy to try to put that in her. See, what a lot of pimps don't understand, pimps be thinking this is some good action. They hollering at a chick, she listening. Ooh, man, I got some action. Action at what though? Like, what do you really have action at? What is it that you about to come up with? Like, even if she wanted to cooperate, like, let's just say she picked one of them guys and told him, said, you know what? I want you. That guy is going to acquire more problems than profit. He going to acquire more bad shit than benefits. He going to acquire more headache and heartache than, trick break and trap break, 304 break. You dig? It's just, it ain't even worth it. Then I guarantee you she got a weed habit that she really can't afford. See, a lot of these chicks, they choose somebody to make it easy on themselves because they really don't want nothing, so they're not going to go hard for nothing. And, they know that you got your shit together. She's staying in motels, but she know you got a house or a condo or something like that. So if she comes stay with you, she can make just enough money to, support her daily weed habit or, alcohol habit or both, or whatever other habits she got. She can make enough money to support that. And then whatever little scraps is left over, you can hold on to that, but it's no urgency to like, see, that's what people don't understand. That's a big part of the reason why a 304, is in her best interest to have some pimping in her life, because pimping gives her that spark. A square would never understand that shit, but it's just something about, when a 304 is really into the man that she rocking with in the game. When he light a fire up under her ass and she just so passionate about going to get it and bring it back to him. But because there's so many clout demons out here, that fire isn't appreciated. That fire isn't even, it's not acquired by these chicks. They don't choose pimping to get that fire up under their ass and, enhance them and elevate them and help them evolve and amplify everything good in them. They don't choose pimping for that. See, like I say all the time, man, and what a lot of people don't think about, chicks like this, they got that trick Ray vision. They want the same thing from you that they want from the trick. Somebody to make life easier for her. They don't want anything hard. They don't want anything. They don't challenge. What? I'm not into no challenges. Don't challenge me about nothing. I'm too pretty for challenges. I'm me. What I look like, going through challenges. What's that about? What's that for? That ain't gonna do nothing for me. You know, that's the energy. But like I said, if she was to choose anybody, see, this is the type of stuff. Like, let's just say she turned to one of them dudes and said, you know what? I want you. Then she go get in the car with him. He like, you got a trap on you? You got some money? Yeah, it's at my room. My room is down the street. They pull up to the room. She got $80 in the room. She got $80, a half drink, a pint of Hennessy or Douce, like an eighth of weed. Well, she done smoked some of the eighth. She probably got like a gram of weed left. You know, a few little cheap outfits and $80. You know, that's what she got at the room. So, of course, Pimping gonna want to set her back down. Like, okay, well, you know, you need to go get my issue, and to take her out of her comfort zone. You know, well, it depend on if she got folks or not. You know, if she got folks, Pimping gonna set her right back down where he found her at. And, you know, she gonna have to face the nation about his business and, you know, go through whatever consequences come with it and, you know, go get his issue. Whatever his fee is, she gonna have to run that up. But $80 is definitely not enough to acquire some pimping. So, you know, but a lot of these chicks be thinking that that's cool. You know, just the fact that, you know, I broke myself to you for what I had. I know it was only $80. It wasn't much, but I gave it to you, and now I'm willing to get down for you. I'm willing to be your 304. They think that's enough. And then it's gonna be a wrestling match. Well, I don't want to get back down over here because he be riding around, and you know he might see me, and you know, I don't want to deal with that. So she just want to stay in for the night. Well, you know, I got an ad posted too. You know, I done got a few calls. You know, I just got to call these tricks back and see if they gonna come through. But you know, I just want to stay in for the night. So they come in telling Pimping what they don't want to do. Which, hey man, listen to me. For you young cats out there in the game, man. Hey, anytime, shit, it's some old cats that need to be reminded of this shit too. Anytime a chick comes to you like she want to rock with you, but she has a list of things that she don't want to do or that she refuses to do, before you even tell her what you want her to do, they like, look, you know, I want to be with you, but I don't want to do this. I'm not going to do that. I refuse to do this. I hate doing this. I don't want to do that. They got like a laundry list of things that they not going to do before you even tell them what they got to do in order to have you in their life. They beat you to the punch. They cutting straight to it. You know what I mean? As soon as she give you that $80, she think that bought her the right to tell you what she don't want to do and what she ain't going to do. Trick Dawson, the OG Sugar Daddy, say, don't forget the backwood or raw paper left for roll up. Yeah. Yeah, that's why she only got a gram left, because she smoked a gram and a half in the backwood earlier and slept half the day. She just woke up when they seen her. You know what I mean? She only been out like, 30 minutes. Still got boogers in her eye. But yeah, man. That's why I say, man, these type of see, I want the game to get greater. I want the people in the game to be greater. And in order for that to happen, the people in the game got to see the game through game lenses. They got to see the game, for what it really is. And they don't see it for what it really is. They see it for a lot less than what it is. You know what I mean? That's like earlier, I tapped into a live for a second, and man, this cat was talking about how, every 304 did he have them go down to the and see this all factors into why a lot of these chicks don't want nothing in life, because all their life they've been reaching for low hanging fruit and ain't nobody showed them how to look up, see something big out there and reach for something big. But this guy, he said every 304 that he gets, first thing he do is take them down to the EDD building or whatever building it is and have them apply for he called it GA. It might be called GA now, General Assistance. When I was growing up back in the day, it was called GR, General Relief, but same thing. But take her down to the building, have her get GR, GA, whatever you want to call it. And that's going to get her food stamps, $300-something a month, and medical insurance. Now, I can see if you ain't got no medical insurance and doing that, that's understandable for the medical insurance aspect of it. But as far as the money and the food stamps, let me tell you why pimps don't resort to that, right? Let me tell you why leaking pimps, don't resort to that shit. Hey, man, a pimp don't want to resort to measures that a homeless person can resort to. That's the type of people who need that. People who want to get a job but can't get a job. People who, is just in a tough spot and they not in the streets. So, they do that to, have some money in their pocket for whatever, little hygiene or, personal items they need. And then, some food stamps so they can eat. But, I've always looked at that like that's accepting failure. The moment somebody in the game, that you might as well go to a homeless shelter. The moment somebody in the game, and especially a 304, as the pimping, I done leaked real hard. You know what I mean? And ain't that's never even been a thought. And then people who suggested to me, I'd be like, are you crazy? Because I done had people, back in the days when I was leaking and, going through it and, going through fly-by nights and, having them rough nights where you might have to sleep in your car or, you ain't got nowhere to sleep. So you just up and down the whole time. You sweating the blade the whole time, or you up and down the strip, getting at bras in the casino. And somebody might say, man, you can go down there to the Woot Wop building and get you some food stamps and, the little $200-$300 a month. Man, hell no. Hell no. What the hell a pimp look like doing some shit like that? But see, when 304s in the game mess with dudes that'll resort to that, then, it kind of feeds that energy to them to make them, they think it's okay. This is why you find chicks in the game, going to homeless shelters. There's no way in the world that a 304 should ever end up in a homeless shelter. Ever. If you done ever got down in the game and you know how to get down and you got clients all over the world, ain't no way in the world that you should ever end up in a homeless shelter. See, it's not a circumstantial thing that allows you to do that. It's a mental thing that allows you to do that. In your mind, you think that's okay. In the moment you think that that's okay, you shut down any bigger thinking that's going to put you in a bigger and better place, that's going to have you doing bigger and better shit. The moment you say to yourself, I'm about to go to this homeless shelter, you shut down the mindset that's going to put you into some bigger and better shit. Same thing with going to that EDD building and signing up for food stamps and GR. The moment you do that, you shutting down anything big that can possibly happen in your mind. That's going to put you into a big situation. That's going to have you making big moves, doing big shit with big people. Instead of going down to the EDD building, get around some people that's successful. Go to some environments that's successful. You know what I mean? Just go to places where affluence and wealth and, big ideas and all that type of stuff is encouraged. Man, when I was young, man, I remember, I'll never forget. When I was 18 years old, right? I had a beat up ass Impala that I paid $450 for. Right? Paid $450 for this car. It was a little beat up bucket, but boy, that thing ran like a champ. I didn't have no problems out of that car. Only problem I had was that it wouldn't pass smog, so I couldn't get no tags. Hey, but other than that car ran like a champ. But listen, man, yeah, matter of fact, I still was in high school. It's my senior year in high school, right? But what I used to do, man, I used to ride from Long Beach to Beverly Hills and which for those of y'all who don't know, that's like a 30 to 40 minute drive depending on traffic. But I used to drive to Beverly Hills, man, in that little beat up ass 81 Impala just to like be around big shit and see big shit. I used to ride through the neighborhoods and look at the mansions and, go to the Beverly Center and just walk around and see all them high-end designer stores and shit like that. And, see all the Lamborghinis and Rolls Royces and Ferraris and Bentleys and, all that type of shit and people walking around with their expensive ass dogs and, yards that look like the landscaping costs, $100,000 a month, something crazy to keep up with the maintenance around this place. You know what I mean? Like, I just used to like going to places like that because it would motivate me and inspire me to want to have some bigger and better shit in my life, right? And what I'm telling you is that spending your time doing that is going to serve you a whole lot more justice than sitting in the unemployment building, waiting to collect some food stamps and, $200 or $300. Going, being around places like that. And then, you go sit at Starbucks in Beverly Hills. You hear people talking about big ideas, big plans, business ventures. Just you hear people talking about big ideas and big plans and big visions and shit like that. When you go to places like that, you go sit at a restaurant, a cafe or a Starbucks or, just anywhere in places like Beverly Hills. It's just a lot of big energy going on. It makes you think bigger. See, when you around a bunch of, people in a certain environment with a certain mindset and they don't want nothing big, they don't even believe they can be a part of anything big, but to yourself that you gonna have something big going on. To yourself what you capable of. To yourself what the world has in store for you. Hey, man, you got to get away from people like that. You got to get away from young, able-bodied people. Hey, man, there's some people out there who ain't got no felonies, who ain't got no kids. You know what I mean? They might not have no degrees or no education or nothing like that, but they don't have nothing in their way. And they got the audacity to take their ass down to the unemployment building. Hey, man, there's something wrong with that. And don't let nobody tell you that that's cool. Hell no. Never, ever do that. Like I said, it's just certain shit that you can't allow yourself to do. And when you thinking bigger, that energy is going to support you. You know, you might wake up tomorrow and you don't know how you going to eat today. You don't know where you going to sleep tonight. But as long as you keep your eyes on the prize, something is going to happen. You know, something is going to keep you afloat. See, even at times when I was at my worst, man, I never worried about shit because, man, I'm out here in the free world. Shit, something is going to keep me moving. Something going to keep me in motion around here. I don't know what, I don't know how, I don't know where or when, but hey, I'm going to be all right. Ain't nothing wrong with my mind. Ain't nothing wrong with my mouth. Ain't nothing wrong with my body. I'm going to be all right. I ain't never worried about shit. Never. Like, as far as circumstances, from a young age, I can remember being young. And, you know, it's just certain shit that I'll never forget. I remember being 19, 20 years old and out of town with my partners, and they, you know, shit get rough and they complaining about shit like, damn, man, what we gonna do? Damn. I'm just always cool. I'm always sitting back trying to develop a plan and figure some shit out. You know what I mean? So we can get in motion and make something happen, change the situation around for the better. That's what I'm on. I ain't never been the type to sit back and worry about some shit. So with that being the case, man, hell no. Ain't no way in the world I'm finna sit up and go to the unemployment building. You ain't gonna never find that on my name. You can find some crimes on my name and shit like that, you know, but you ain't gonna never find that Freeze signed up for food stamps or was getting a little, you know, $200-$300 check every month. And see, like I said, it's because the lifestyle that I live and the things that I stand for, and, you know, just what I'm all about and what I believe. See, that's what it has all to do with, what I believe. What I believe about myself doesn't have anything to do with that. Now, for somebody, like I said, that, you know, if you on the straight and narrow, you not resorting to the streets. The streets ain't an option for you. You know, I respect that. You dig? So the streets ain't an option for you. And, you know, you trying to get a job, but you can't figure it out right now, or you haven't figured it out yet. But in the meantime, you got to eat and you need a few dollars in your pocket. I can understand going, that's what that shit is for. You know what I mean? See, back in the days, I don't know about how it is now. That's not how, I don't know if that's how it is now, but I remember back in the days because, you know what I mean, I had an uncle who was on GR or what they call it GA, but I call it GR, General Relief. I had an uncle that was on GR when I was a kid back in the 90s, right? And back then they would only put you on it for a certain amount of time. And then two, you had to be looking for a job in order to get it. You had to be applying for jobs, and then they would give you work too. Like they would give you like little, at least my uncle, like sometimes he'd have to go work over here for a couple hours. It wasn't like no full-time job or nothing, but just to maintain his GR. Like I said, I ain't never done that shit, so I don't understand all the ins and outs and requirements and all that shit. But what I do know is that my uncle, he used to have to get up and go work sometimes. And back then it was only $200. It was either $200 or $220 or some shit like that a month, plus some food stamps. I think it was the same amount, like $200-something in food stamps. You know? And that's what I'm saying. That's my point. Like, you know, that stuff is for somebody who ain't in the streets and, you know, in the meantime, until they get a job, they do this. That's what that's for. That's not for, damn, my hustle slow right now, or damn, I'm in between the hoes right, I ain't got a hoe right now, or, you know, damn, this weed ain't selling how I need to, or damn, these pills ain't selling, so let me go get GR. Hell no. Hell no. And especially if you in the game. Ain't nobody in the game got no business getting no damn GR. That's crazy. Lisa Jackson, good looking with the $20 holler. Figure shit out is part of life. Salute. Absolutely. Because we in America, it's a capitalist society. You know? Shit, it's out here. Anytime you like, and not just for street people, like if you an entrepreneur and you got a dream, you know, you got a business and, you know, your business might be slow or something like, man, hell no. Man, it's too much going on out here. It's too much money floating around. And then especially in California, man, listen. In California, man, I want to say it's like, I believe it's like $12 billion unaccounted for in California. You know what I mean? Like, whether it's unclaimed money or, you know, just, you know, off the grid, off the books, undocumented. It's like $12 billion just floating around in California. Come on, man. You're not thinking big enough. You're not creative enough. You inside that box. You waiting for a handout. You waiting for somebody to do something for you. You ain't thinking about what you could do for yourself. Because when you get to thinking about what you could do for yourself, hey, man, it's a whole lot of shit that you could do for yourself. You know what I mean? Especially us in the streets, the pimping. Hey, listen, man, ain't nowhere in the world that you supposed to resort to no damn food stamps and $200-300 a month. You know, most pimps, if you done really did some pimping, if you go hopo, you got something you could dump. Whether it's a car or a couple of cars, and you might like them damn cars and you might not want to get rid of them, but hey, if it's going to keep you afloat, that's what you got to do. Or some jewelry. You know what I mean? You might have to go pawn your jewelry. Or, you know, you shit, them video games that you love, you might have to go sell that shit. Hey, man, it's all kind of shit it's all kind of shit to do, man. Before you have to go do that type of shit. And then shit, not just that, but see, one thing about the pimping, man, we got game. Game is always for sale. It's always somebody that want to buy some game. It's always somebody that want to, you know, somebody that can use your guidance, somebody that can use your wise counsel, even if it ain't a 304 right now. You know, and people will pay you for that. If you got wisdom, hey, man, wisdom is like a hot commodity right now. You might not have a 304 right now. You might not be checking the trap every day. But if you got wisdom, hey, man, as long as they got this internet shit going on, as long as they got this thing called social media going on, and you got wisdom, all them bumps and bruises you went through in the game, hey, man, somebody want to dig into that wealth of knowledge and wisdom that you got. You dig? E-books, good looking with the $1 holler. Yeah, man. Hey, cause listen, man, that's one thing I give the young generation that I can appreciate about the young generation, man. I don't know if there's ever been as strong of a desire for knowledge among young people like it is now. And, you know, of course, the internet has a lot to do with it because there's so much information on the internet, right? But you have so many people, and not just information, but wisdom, right? That's why you got guys, see, in young people, a lot of young people, y'all probably don't even understand it like that. You be thinking that you need knowledge. And yeah, you do need knowledge to a certain extent, but you can't, the knowledge won't serve you as much justice if you're not getting wisdom right along with it. That's why, again, like I was talking about them dating coaches before, right? They got a whole bunch of knowledge, but they ain't got no wisdom because they ain't been through nothing. Right? Like I say all the time, ask them dudes where they made their mistakes. How did they learn from them mistakes? You don't hear them talking about mistakes. They just tell you a bunch of shit that you need to do, but they don't talk about how they learned that. How'd you learn that? Did you read about it just like I can, or did you actually go through some shit? Right? And what I want y'all to understand is the difference between somebody who just got some information based on what somebody told them or what they listened to or what they read, and somebody who got information based on knowledge, because their information comes with wisdom. It's like the knowledge can be a chocolate chip cookie. The knowledge is the cookie part. The wisdom is the chocolate chips. You know what I mean? A lot of these dudes is selling y'all fake chocolate chip cookies, man. That shit that you think is chocolate chips, you think it's wisdom. Nah, it's just some bullshit. It just looked like chocolate chips, man, but it ain't real chocolate chips, man. You want that cookie with them real chocolate chips, you want that knowledge with that real wisdom inside of it. You know what I mean? So when you bite into it, you like, oh, this shit is fire. But that other shit, man, you buy some of them other dudes' cookies, man, and be like, man, I could have made this shit myself. You want to go buy some cookies that you can't make yourself. Like, you can't just go in the kitchen and be like, oh shit, damn. You want some shit that you can't make. You bite into that shit, you be like, damn, I don't know what they did to these cookies. I don't know what they put inside these cookies, but man, this is it. That's how you want this game to be. Right? Lisa Jackson, good looking with the $5 holler. A wise man always remembers his or her mistakes. Indeed. And that's what I'm saying, right? It's a lot of people that consider themselves dating coaches, life coaches, a guru of some sort or whatever the case may be. And I ain't talking about just guys. It's some women out there too doing the same thing. Right? But, they not telling you they mistakes. Where's the wisdom at? Hey man, I don't know no wise person that ain't made a whole bunch of mistakes. I don't know not one. And this type of stuff been going on, even in the churches, or different places of worship. Some congregations you go, and every time, like for instance, right? I remember my dad went to this church. He used to take me to church with him, right? He started going to church when I was in high school, and he went to this church for like 17, 18 years, something like that. He went to this church for almost 20 years. But in the early days, when he first started going, I used to go with him. You know what I mean? When I was in high school. And I thought about it when I got older, but like when I reflect back, hey, the preacher used to have some fire messages. He knew the scriptures real good and, spit some good messages. But I never heard him talk about any mistakes that he made. You know what I mean? Like, I think he was from the South somewhere. I think he was from Georgia or something like that. You know, and he was an older guy, so I'm guessing he probably grew up in the 60s or something like that, or the 50s. You know, I'm sure not only did you make some mistakes, but you went through some rough times, man, growing up back then in the South. You know, what was it like? What did you learn from it? How did it make you wise? You dig? Or just your journey to becoming a pastor. Like, you know, what mistakes did you make along the way that you know, led you to this path? You dig? That's why it's this one pastor, man. I done talked about him before, but and it's crazy because like I had never been to no white churches or no, well, cause let me correct that, because his church isn't a white church. It's a very diverse congregation, but the pastor is white, right? But I had never been to a church where the pastor was white until this time, right? It was this chick that I used to mess with when I was real young, right? And even after me and her wasn't rocking no more, I was always cool with her moms. You know what I mean? And me and her was cool, but I'm talking about when we wasn't, you know, together no more, I was still cool with her moms. You know what I mean? Robbie Pfeiffer, that's my mom's right there. Shout out Robbie Pfeiffer, right? But moms had hit me one day. She was like, you know, you want to go to this church with me? I was like, cool, let's go. So, man, we go to the church and the congregation was so packed, and we only got there, we got there a little bit late, but it was packed by the time we got there, right? So they had different rooms that you could go watch the service from on the TV, right? So that's what we did. But the pastor was so dope because, you know, he, and this was just a random day that we went. Like, so I imagine that this is something that he do all the time, but like, he was talking about how he done been to jail before, how he used to be on drugs, how he used to be homeless. This was just in this one sermon, this one day that I went. You know what I mean? So immediately it resonated with me because, you know, that's a lot of the stuff that I seen growing up, you know, like a lot of people in my family, you know, I grew up in the 80s and 90s. So if you grew up in the 80s and the 90s and you lived in the ghetto anywhere, man, you had a family member that was on crack. You had a family member that was smoking rocks for sure. If you was from the ghetto, you might not have been doing it, and your mama and daddy might not have been doing it, but you had a cousin, an auntie, an uncle, somebody, a neighbor, you know what I mean? Somebody, you know, it was somebody within arm's reach that was smoking that pipe. You dig? So a lot of stuff come with that. You know what I mean? You see people going back and forth to jail. You know what I mean? Then me, at that time, yeah, matter of fact, yeah, that was when I had just got out of prison at the time. You know what I mean? So I was fresh out the joint. And yeah, so it was no, matter of fact, I take that back. Let me correct that. This is before I went to prison. I had been in jail before, but this is before I went to prison. I had this experience. So I just had to remember like how old I was at the time. I think I was like 21. So that was before I went to prison. But I say all that to say, you know, that pastor, his name is Bayless Conley, and his church at the time was in Seal Beach. I don't know if it's still there. This was like over 20 years ago. But if he's still doing his thing, Bayless Conley in Seal Beach, hey man, dope pastor. Dope pastor, you dig? But I say all of that to say, you know, just like it's a pastor's position to impart wisdom to people who want to acquire knowledge, you know, you got people all over the internet, whether it's relationship knowledge or, you know, business knowledge, investment knowledge, you know, whatever kind of knowledge it might be. you want to get your knowledge from somebody who done made some damn mistakes, man, and ain't got no problem telling you about the mistakes they made. You know, Tony Robbins, he another person I like to listen to sometimes, man. That's another person who, you know, been around a long time, but he ain't got no problem letting you know his mistakes. You dig? That's who I like to learn from. I like to learn from people who, you know, their life is an open book. And they don't have a problem putting their cards face up. You know, my brother Andre Taylor, another person who ain't got no problem letting you know his mistakes. You dig? Why you think y'all love him and appreciate him so much? Why you think y'all like listening to him? You know, a lot of y'all in here probably enrolled in his classes, you know, right now. You know, that comes from making a lot of, you know, that all of that wisdom that he has. He has a wealth of wisdom. Of course, he got game like crazy. He got game off the charts. You know what I mean? He got an all-you-can-hear buffet of game, but just as well, he got a whole lot of wisdom with the game. See, he got more game than the average individual. But there's some people who might know some of the same things that he knows. But it ain't going to come across nearly as effectively because they don't have that same kind of wisdom. You know what I mean? And it's a lot of people on the internet that be fronting. You dig? But I say all of that to say, if you in the game and you got wisdom, which if you in the game and you done been through the ups, downs, and turnarounds of this pimping and 304ing, hey man, you got some wisdom. And there's some people out here that want to benefit from that shit, trust me. You dig? So, hey man, don't be out here going to the unemployment building and all that shit, man. Hell nah. You got too much wisdom up in you, man. You got too much game. And just because these little nappy head, funky breath little broads might not want to benefit from your wisdom and your game, hey, it's all right. Because somebody do. You dig? Somebody do. You just got to make yourself available to it. And man, what you must have just came in, Viking Lofgren, talking about no love juice tonight. That was my first order of business. That was the first thing I did. But since you mentioned it, yeah, let me go ahead and put some love in my body right now. Hey man, you mean to tell me it's 207 of y'all up in here, but only 155 of y'all done wiped your feet off at the door when you stepped into a pimp's domain? Shame on 50 of y'all, man. 52 of y'all. Shame on you, man. Don't even wipe your feet off at the door when you come into a pimp's domain. Cold-blooded. Hit that like button, man. Ain't gonna hurt you. But yeah, man. This is something that a lot of people don't think about in the game too, right? When they be trying to have little 304s like this. See, look at this chick. She digging all that. She like all that, right? Look at her. She like all that shit. She like all that, right? And see, the thing is, man, when you some pimping, you got a certain type of belief system, right? And in order to thrive in this game, you got to be in motion with people who believe what you believe. And it's a lot of people in the game who don't believe what you believe. you know, it's a lot of guys that claim to be the same thing that you are, do the same thing that you do, but they don't believe what you believe. So you don't need to be closely associated with them type of people. You can greet them and be cordial to them and all that, but you don't need to be feeding yourself too much of their company and their energy because they don't believe what you believe, right? You might believe that, you know, pimping is the best thing going for the 304ing. While they might only believe that, you know, man, I just want to get some money out this chick. That's all. You know, and they might not have no game for the broad. They might not have no wisdom. They might not have no guidance. You know, none of that. They just might have a cool bedroom game and that's it. So that them type of people don't believe what you believe. You know, so the same thing with these young ladies in the game. They got to believe what you believe, man. And a lot of cats in the game got a broad right now who don't believe what they believe. You know? Like I talked about love the other day. You know, like I said, you want somebody in the game, you want the people in your household to believe what you believe. And you believe that love in the game is one thing, and a lot of these chicks in the game believe that love in the game is a whole nother thing. What you believe love is and what she believes love is night and day from each other. Like, what you know love to be in the game is, you know, proper instructions, proper guidance. You know what I mean? Arming this chick with the game. You know, putting her with some good wifeys. You know, having her mind be open and accepting to the idea of having wifeys. Embracing wifeys. You know, being an asset to her wifey like her wifey gonna be an asset to her. You know, building with her wifey. Bonding with her wifey. You know, relating with her wifey. That's what you know love to be in the game. But a lot of these chicks that y'all be having, man, their idea of love in the game is, you know, I'm a give you what I can, but even if what I can only give you is not enough to have the things that I want, you still need to get me what I want. And I don't want to share you either. I don't like sharing. So I'm not gonna have no wifeys. Or if I do have some wifeys, you better not put them around me because I'm going to run them off because, you know, I want you to myself and, you know, I'm all you need anyway. You know, you don't need them other girls. You know, even if they make you more money than I make you, they not as pretty as me. And, you know, they not as cool as me. And, you know, they not as good in bed as I am. So, yeah. It need to just be you and me. That's what a lot of these chicks' idea of love is in the game. So they don't believe what you believe. And because they don't believe what you believe, you know, you setting yourself up for a dangerous situation if you continue down that wrong path with them type of people. You did? Damn shit. Damn. I got these damn timers on, man. For my kids, you know, that shit shuts they shit off at a certain time. Oh shit. Look at me pressing shit. Okay. Hold on. Hold on. Damn. Give Give me just a second, y'all. Okay. Lisa Jackson, good looking with the $5 holla. When acquire wisdom, what do you do with the wise? Are you asking like when you acquire wisdom, what do you do with other wise people? Is that what you're asking? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Ebooks, good looking with the $2 holla. Anti-welfare speech applies to squares too. Hey, ebooks, it depends on what you believe, what your belief system is, right, for yourself. You know, it really boils down to like employment and workers, right? If you are a true to the heart worker, and shout out to the workers that know that they workers, that know that they not bosses, that know that they not managers, that they know that they not supervisors, they just good ass workers that do good ass work. Hey, shout out to y'all, man, because y'all don't get enough appreciation. Y'all don't get enough acknowledgement. Y'all don't get enough, encouragement. Hey, man, shout out to the workers, though. That know that they workers and don't want to be nothing else but workers. They don't want to be a boss. They don't want to be a manager. They don't want to be a supervisor. They just want to be the best worker that they could be. Hey, shout out to y'all, man. Because we live in a time where everybody want to be the queen. Everybody want to be the king of the world. And everybody want to be leaders. And everybody want to be bosses and entrepreneurs. And everybody got an LLC. And don't even know what the hell LLC stand for, but they got one and all this old shit, man. Hey, shout out to the workers, man. Pimping appreciate you, man. If don't nobody else, hey, Freeze acknowledge you and Freeze appreciate you. And Freeze respect the hell out of you too. But, that's really what it is, right? If you are a true worker and you don't have work right now, and you're not no street person. So the streets is not an option for you. Hustling ain't an option for you. Starting a business ain't an option for you. None of those types of things are options for you. You need some more work, but in the meantime, you can't find work. So in the meantime, in between time, you go and get food stamps and GR, $200-$300 a month, however much it is in little food stamps. And, you're not getting it to live off of. You getting it to get you through this storm right now until you get to your next gig. Right? That's what that type of shit is for. But you got people that like try to lean off of that shit and depend on that shit. And that's not what it's for. You dig? So yeah, no, it applies to squares, but even squares that, is just a certain type of square, like squares that's real workers, real employees. That's what that shit is for. And ain't nothing wrong with it. Water sign 10, good looking with the $2 holla. Would you ever retire from being an active P? Well, a P isn't just what I do. A P is what I am. Right? That's truly what I am. And it's who I am. Right? So with that being said, I'm not going to retire from being myself. You dig? Now, the capacity at which I am myself might, evolve into something else, but I'm always going to be me. So, yeah, I'm going to stay me. Water sign 10, good looking with the $2 holla again. How can you be a worker but still be rich? Hey, that's what people don't understand, man. Hey, listen. There are some billionaire employees out there. For real. There are some billionaires out there who work jobs. You know what I mean? And don't own a business, and you know, they just real good at their job. You dig? A lot of people don't know that, but it's the truth. Some billionaires out there that they became a billionaire from their job. And of course they, you know, I'm sure they got, you know, different investments and things like that. But and then as far as like just being rich, if you're talking about multimillionaires, hey man, it's a whole lot of millionaires that work a job that don't own a business. For real. You dig? And see, that's what a lot of people don't understand, man. It's just, you know, ain't nothing wrong with being a worker. You know? It's just everybody, and then not just that, but ain't nothing wrong with not being rich. See, everybody think they supposed to be rich. Everybody think they supposed to be famous. Everybody think, you know, that they supposed to be a superstar and all that shit. Hey, man. If you work a 9 to 5 and, you know, you got a 401k plan set up and, you know, you might have some little investments, you know, some stocks and bonds and things like that. And, you know, you got a little money put up and, you know, you got a nice place to live and a nice vehicle, and you ain't got to ask nobody for nothing. Hey man, that's cool. That's the shit. And at the same time, you got a family that love you and you love them and you get to spend time with your family. Hey man, that's the shit. And there's nothing wrong with that. So. Stay Crazy say don't see too many 80-year-olds with a stable. They out there though. Trust and believe. It's some 80-year-olds with a stable. It ain't a whole lot of them, but they do exist. Trust me. I know some. For real. But you know, you don't see a whole lot of 80-year-old pimps, period. You know what I mean? Whether they active or retired or whatever. You dig? Waterson 10, good looking with the $5 holla. Oh, shit. Most millionaires in the USA come from owning a business. Why not strive for being rich? Money is printed every day. I mean, if that's what you see for yourself, then that's fine. But what I'm saying is the reality is everybody's not going to be rich. Everybody's not meant to be rich. At least monetarily. And it's okay if you're not monetarily rich. As long as you thriving and you doing your thing, and you know, when you leave this earth, you can leave a little something to your kids if you got them, or grandkids, or nieces and nephews, whatever family you want to leave something behind to, something, you know, that's going to help them out in their journey. Hey, man. Shit, ain't too much you could ask for besides that. But, you know, what I'm saying is there's nothing wrong with being a normal 9 to 5 worker, man. We need people like that, you know? Like I told y'all before, the story with my pops, man, that's what made me, it put things in perspective for me. Because I had never heard nothing like that. And my mom's is the same way. You know, both my mother and my father, they never wanted to own a business. They never wanted to be rich. But, you know, they come from a different time, man. And see, that's the thing with the internet. The internet makes everybody think they're supposed to be rich and famous. But see, a lot of y'all don't remember a time when everybody wasn't on social media. When everybody wasn't on social media, you know, a lot more people were humble. And a lot more people understood that they weren't supposed to be rich and famous, and they was okay with that. And it was cool. You dig? So, ain't nothing wrong with it, man. Dio Richard now. Good looking with the $5 holla. But I mean, it's okay if you want to be rich. Don't think that that's a bad thing either. What I'm saying is, it is okay to work a 9 to 5 and live a regular life, not be rich, not be famous. But, you still got your shit together and everything is good. There's nothing wrong with that. And then it's a lot of business owners that ain't rich. It's a lot of people that own a business and that business is good enough to take care of their family, put their kids through college if they got kids in college or that's going to go to college. And, it's all good. That business is good enough to handle what they needed to handle. But they not rich, though. It's a whole lot of business owners that ain't rich. And you got some people that, just like you got people that work at FedEx or UPS or the post office or the government for 20 and 30 years. You got a lot of people that have owned their own business for 20, 30 years and they never been rich. But they good, though. That business is taking care of them. You dig? People that own like mom and pop restaurants, mom and pop markets and grocery stores, things like that. A lot of them people ain't rich, but they handling their business though. Shout out to them. Eat books, good looking with the $5 holla. Political question. Is pimping and socialism comparable? The game seems to favor white capitalism despite being a black man's sport. Why do you say that the game seems to support or seems to favor white capitalism? What makes you say that? Then I can answer your question. Yeah, let me put some more love in my body, man. If you ain't wiped your feet off at the door when you step to a pimp's domain, please do so now. Hit that like button, you dig? No liquor. Pat Bowden. Not for me. Not for the pimping. No liquor for me, man. FYI, FYI, some billionaires who give away and donate to charity because they only want to activate that receiving energy to come towards them. They know the spiritual laws. Yeah, that's real. It's a lot of wealthy people that give away a lot of their wealth. Jackie Chan is one of them, man. Jackie Chan then gave away hundreds of millions of dollars to charities and nonprofit organizations and things like that. Yeah, and Bill Gates then gave away a lot of money. Warren Buffett then gave away a lot of money. Yeah, but a lot of us, though, don't have that same type of mindset, unfortunately. Just wine. Yeah, they say a little bit of wine every so often is good for you. I got an uncle and auntie, they drink probably like a glass of wine once a month. And not for communion, even though they probably do communion too, but yeah, they donated cash for tax cuts and corporate loopholes. Yeah, some of them do, but when you see people like Jackie Chan, the type of giving that he done did, I don't think it's just for that. I mean, I'm sure he gets that, but it's not just for that. Shit, Jackie Chan got certain companies that all the proceeds go towards charity. Like everything made from that company goes, all the profit from that company goes towards charity. He got he has a cookie company. I forget the name of his cookies, but Jackie Chan has a thriving cookie business where the proceeds from that business all go towards charity. So I want to say the guy who who owns 5 Hour Energy, I think he donates a lot of money to charity too. Oh, Cat Williams for sure, hands down. Cat is well known for that. Prince was well known for that too. Princeton gave a lot of money. Hold on, why does it do that? This thing be tripping sometimes. Okay. Ebooks say F Jackie Chan defends Chinese imperialism and communism, but made money from us, American dollars. Hey, you can't be mad at him. You know, the American system provided a way for him to do that shit. Shit. Can't be mad at him. And he's Chinese. That's where he from. So, shit. I ain't mad at him. If you're going to be mad at somebody, be mad at America. Shit. How you going to be mad at Jackie Chan for, capitalizing on an opportunity? You know, all these American dollars just throwing themselves at him, and he just supposed to turn it down because he come from a communist country. I didn't know they was tight, Cat and Prince. I didn't know they was tight either, but it don't surprise me though. That don't surprise me at all. I could see them being tight. See, Bill Parrott, that's that's another thing this internet be doing to people's minds, man. Prince was too feminine for me. I like MJ better. Hey man, you say Prince was too feminine, but I bet you Prince done experienced the inside of a lot more women than Michael Jackson have. Trust me. You know, Prince was just different. And, I would never do some of the things Prince done did, but it's unanimously understood that Prince was very much a ladies' man. You dig? And, in spite of all of that, the man was a musical genius. Like you ain't gonna really see the type of talent that Prince had, his vocal ability, and his writing and arranging and production ability, and his ability to play damn near every instrument that it is. Hey man, shit. That's what you got to look at. Look at the greatness. You know what I mean? You know, shout out Lil Richard. You know, Lil Richard was sweet as cake mix. But that man greatness was just off the chain, man. And it's sad because, you know, when Lil Richard passed away, man, you know, like that type of celebration that not Patti LaBelle, excuse me. God bless Patti. She's still with us beautifully and fortunately. But Aretha Franklin, like that big celebration for Aretha's life that went on, hey man, it was supposed to be something like that for Lil Richard too, if not bigger. I don't know if his family has something to do with that or what, but man, Lil Richard was that dude. And he don't get enough love and acknowledgement, man. Shout out to Lil Richard. But no, see, like I was saying, Bill Parrott, you know, that's what this internet does, man. It makes you think that you gotta choose between people. Like this one or that one. You know, they got the memes, one person gotta go and all this so stupid ass shit. Hey man, shout out to MJ and shout out to Prince. They both was great. They both legendary. They both gonna be talked about 1,000 years from now. And yeah, shout out to them. You dig? But Prince was a dope dude. You know, and what I liked about Prince is a lot of the great things that he did for people, you didn't even know about it until he passed away, and all these people start coming forth talking about, man, Prince did this for me. Prince did that for me. Prince donated this much money to this church. Prince donated this much money to this charity. Prince did this for me. Prince helped me out in this situation. Prince consoled me when I was going through this. Prince did this for me. Prince did that for me. Man, it was so many people coming out talking about the shit that Prince did for their ass, and you never heard Prince talk about it. You know what I mean? So that's the type of shit that I like, as opposed to some of these rappers. They record themselves handing money to homeless people. Man, that shit ain't doing nothing for no damn homeless person. Giving them a couple $100 or some shit like that. You putting a Band-Aid on a bullet wound when you do that. You know? What you doing behind the scenes, though? Who you being a blessing to behind the scenes? You dig? So, yeah. Shout out to Prince, man. And shout out to MJ. You know, MJ is a prime example of somebody who, even though he was on top of the world, he had a lot of challenges in life, man. He had a lot of rough times in life, man. Michael Jackson went through some shit, man, so and was great in spite of all of it. So shout out to Michael Jackson too. Prince gave a lot of game to other artists in owning their music too. Bill, that's real talk. You remind me of the story that Nas told about Prince. And he said when he was talking to Prince, you know, Prince gave him props on his album I think it was when It Was Written came out. But Prince was giving Nas props. And then Nas, you know, asked if he could do a song with him. And and Prince was like, "You own your masters?" And Nas was like, "Damn." He was like, "Nah." And then, you know, Prince was like, "Well, we can't do nothing, man, but holler at me when you get your masters, though." So you're right, Bill. Prince was dropping game, though. You know, and that's what I like, you know, because that's the shit that I'm talking about, Bill. It's great that you brought that up because that's relevant to what I was talking about earlier as far as like when you getting game from somebody. You want to get game from somebody who acquired the knowledge that they have, you know, bumping their head, going through shit, making mistakes in life, you know, falling down, getting back up, keep going. You know what I mean? Get held back, move around, keep going. You dig? Shit like that. Those are the best kind of people to get game from. Not these nerds that, you know, they're well read in whatever it is, you know, whether it's dating or, you know, relationship advice or, you know, how to be a player and all this old shit, you know, reading about a bunch of shit that they ain't never done and tried and seen if it worked for theyself, but they want to tell you about the shit and want to sell you about the shit. It's good to learn from people who one, have made mistakes, and two, don't mind telling you what mistakes they made. And Prince was one of those people. You know what I mean? Prince went through all that bullshit with them labels. And like Bill said, he gave people a lot of game, but the game that he acquired was from shit that he went through himself. And everybody seen what he went through. The label wasn't trying to let him use his name, and he had to change his name to the artist formerly known as Prince and all that bullshit. Like, he went through a lot of shit, man. When he could have just did like everybody else and, you know, just played nice and stayed with the label and stayed getting milked and stayed making them rich. And, you know, even though he was rich too, but like not getting what he knew he deserved, you know, settling. You dig? So yeah, shout out to Prince. Very inspirational, very gifted, and a very big individual. You dig? And Prince has skills on that basketball court too. For real. E-books, good looking with the $2 holla. Soft White Underbelly and Vlad come to mind. Are you talking about us? You ain't talking about the white capitalism comment, are you? Or man, let me go back and see. Did you respond to that? Oh, ebooks say you are making money from white tricks though, and using the game too for capital gains. Payroll said the game revolved around capitalism. America revolves around capitalism. So yeah, you know, yeah, definitely breaking white tricks and using the game for capital gains for sure. I mean, that's the society that we live in. But when you really got the game, you know that the game is beneficial in more ways than just you know, acquiring capital. Bill, good looking with the $2 holla. Glory to God for this game. Blessings. Yes, indeed. Exactly. That Nas story is what I was thinking about. For real. I remember when he changed the name too. That was big news. Yeah, Bill, you remember that shit? That was crazy, man. They was treating that man like that after he done made them all these millions of dollars. But that's how they do. Oh, yeah. Nah, I'm saying that Soft White and Vlad like to brag about their charities for others. Hey, you right about that, ebooks, and I'm glad you said that, man, because nobody like really talks about that when it comes to both of those guys. But they do love saying that. And Adam 22 as well, you got to put him in there because he loved doing that shit too. You know, talking about what they done for people, and you know, I don't really get the if it wasn't for me energy so much from Soft White, from Mark, but Vlad and Adam, oh yeah, it's a whole lot of, it's big if it wasn't for me energy coming from them dudes. They got a whole lot of that if it wasn't for me type shit with them. You know what I mean? And I'm not like a big fan of any of those guys, but the one who I really, really just do not like is Vlad. I don't like Vlad at all. Vlad is a buster. I don't like how he disrespected the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and then admitted that he lied on him, but refused to apologize to him just because he don't like him. And then, you know, understanding that he's one of the leaders of, you know, people that you know, people that made you rich, you know. Farrakhan leads a lot of the people that made you rich, from the people who watch and listen to you to a lot of the guests on your show. You know what I mean? He used to have BG Knockout on there regularly, Muslim. He used to have Trade E on there regularly, Muslim. You know what I mean? He used to have Lord Jamar on there religiously. And Lord Jamar isn't Muslim, but, you know, I believe Lord Jamar is a 5%er. But, you know, I think he studied the teachings of the Noble Drew Ali. So, yeah, all of these people that made you rich, especially Lord Jamar, because, see, a lot of people don't go that far back with Vlad to understand and remember. But, you know, Vlad was doing cool. But him having Lord Jamar on there gave him a lot of credibility. You know what I mean? Like, I honestly don't know if Vlad would be where he is right now if he wasn't associated with Lord Jamar. I don't know. Because, like, you see how when Cat Williams was on Shannon Sharp's show, and he thanked Shannon for, you know, giving him a safe place to tell the truth. Like, that's kind of like the energy that Lord Jamar helped establish with Vlad TV. Lord Jamar made a lot of people comfortable coming to Vlad TV because he was there. You know what I mean? And Vlad might try to argue that shit, but anybody who really know, who really watched Vlad TV grow, they know what I'm saying is the truth, man. Lord Jamar really helped put a lot of bricks on that house of Vlad TV, man, and helped set the foundation there. And like I said, man, if had not Lord Jamar did that, I don't know if Vlad will be where he is right now. You know what I mean? So, Lord Jamar only left Vlad because Royce the 5'9" and Cam put pressure on him. Yeah, I remember that too. Well, Royce the 5'9" for sure. Cam I didn't know, but Cam don't surprise me though, because shout out to Cam. You know, Cam is Muslim as well. But yeah, I love Cam though. Cam is a solid individual and got bars, man. Very underrated as a rapper. But beyond that, he just a very solid individual. He for his people, and, you know, been kicking knowledge and rap since way back when it wasn't even popular to do. You know what I mean? He was doing it. So, yeah, shout out to Cam. And especially for the West Coast. You know, Cam was kicking knowledge and raps for the West Coast when shit. Wasn't nobody really doing it on the West Coast like that before Cam. I'm trying to really think. It's at least on the level that he was on. I'm trying to think. Who was like really kicking knowledge before Cam on the West Coast? Can't really say. But yeah, Lord Jamar, man. if it wasn't for him, man, like I said, I don't know if Vlad would be where he is right now. Water Sign 10, good looking with the $5 holla. Why do you think black people still deal with Vlad when there's other media outlets where they can get their story out? Because Vlad is going to provide people with clout. And see, that's what I'm saying. Like, people don't understand how serious clout is, man. People are strung out on clout. And that, like you said, there's plenty of other platforms, and it's certain platforms that I hope, well, not just I hope, I know they're going to, remember what I said, man. Hey, the art of dialogue, he going to be bigger than all of them. Remember, Freeze told you that. The art of dialogue, he going to be bigger than Vlad. He going to be bigger than No Jumper. The art of dialogue, he going to blow all of them out the water eventually. You know what I mean? It's going to take some time. And, you know, them dudes got a head start on him. But the art of dialogue, shout out to him. You know, I really want to see him just push them dudes out the way. Because they milk our culture, and they don't really appreciate the culture or the people of the culture the way that they should. And it ain't just all white people. I don't want y'all to think that I'm just bashing white journalists or white platforms or nothing like that. Hey, shout out to Soren Baker. What's the name of Soren Baker's shit, man? Let me see. What's the name of his channel? Unique Access, that's what it is. Yeah, Unique Access ENT, that's Soren Baker's channel. Now, Soren Baker is a white guy, but, you know, Soren Baker is really into the culture. He rock with the culture. He not a culture vulture, and he been down with the culture for a very long time. He know his shit. He respects everybody. You know what I mean? Soren Baker, dope. I rock with Soren Baker and his platform, Unique Access. Hopefully he get a lot bigger too. You dig? And he got some dope interviews too. His platform ain't as big as the other guys, but Soren Baker got some dope interviews. So, shout out to Soren Baker. And he got, like, what I like about Soren Baker, he go after the people that they not really, like, people that people would forget about. You know what I mean? Let me show y'all Soren Baker. I like Soren Baker because he be keeping people alive. See, stuff like this. Like, this is why I rock with Soren Baker. Like, Brother Marquise. Y'all probably don't know who Brother Marquise is, but you know, the older cats, y'all remember 2 Live Crew. You know what I mean? Brother Marquise was one of the main rappers on 2 Live Crew with Fresh Kid Ice. Rest in peace to Fresh Kid Ice, the Chinaman. But and Sir Jinx, you know what I mean, which is Dr. Dre's cousin, Ice Cube's DJ. You know, just stuff like that. Player Ham, he got Player Ham on there. A lot of y'all don't know, man. Player Ham is one of the hardest rappers to ever come out the West Coast, man. And I argue with anybody. Like, Player Ham cold with the bars. And he another one that don't get nearly enough credit, man. You know, he didn't get the same kind of looks that everybody else got back in the 90s, man. But, hey, Player Ham, raw. Could go toe-to-toe with the best of them. Whoever your favorite rapper is, You could put him up against Player Ham and shit, they gonna have a tough time. You know, but yeah, that's why I like Soren Baker, man, because he really give a damn about the culture. You know what I mean? He got Stan the Guitar Man, you know what I mean, who used to play for NWA. You dig? Just stuff like that. That's why I rock with he been rocking with Ice-T. Got Ice-T on there again, I see. Schoolie D. You know what I mean? Pete Nice and Paradise Gray. Just stuff like this. You know what I mean? Who the hell put that on there, boy? People be stupid. But yeah, man. KK. See, a lot of y'all, he be having mostly West Coast artists on here, but he got some cool East Coast artists on here too. Like he got an interview with Brother Jay from the X Clan that was cool. He got some dope ass interviews on here though. Oh, he got MOP on here too somewhere. He got some East Coast interviews too. I think some different parts of the country, but mostly West Coast. But yeah, shout out to Unique Access. Oh yeah, you right. WD Mobile Notary. Paris, but I don't think Paris was out before Cam though. I think Paris came after Cam. But you're right, Paris was kicking that shit too. Shout out to Paris. Paris was dope. I think Soren Baker might even have Paris on there. You know what I mean? He'd be having all the old school West Coast artists for sure. Freeze, you just say that because that's your homie, laugh out loud. I'll say cheese. We'll get there. Yeah, say cheese too, but see, like say cheese, he's in a certain type of lane. Like I say art of dialogue because art of dialogue is more diverse. You know what I mean? Of course, he started out mostly interviewing people that had something to do with Tupac. You dig? Because he was, you know, an avid supporter of Tupac. So, you know, a lot of his growth had to do with that. You know, but I think since within that time his vision has expanded, and I could just see art of dialogue going more places and doing more things to Say Cheese. Shout out to Say Cheese though. Say Cheese is dope too. But like Say Cheese is more like for the drill rappers or the young rappers, you know what I mean? The trap rappers, the drill rappers, shit like that, you know what I mean? Or just, you know, people that might be internet social media sensations. You know, that's how I see Say Cheese. And Say Cheese is dope too. He got a good platform and all of that, and I want to see him get bigger too. But for me, I just see, and I ain't saying that because I'm cool with Art of Dialogue through Sinful. You know, Sinful and Art was real cool. Art will get an exclusive before Vlad, I believe. Yeah. I like Art's style, man. I just like the way Art do his thing, man. But Say Cheese is dope too, and like I said, I want to see Say Cheese get up there too. Do You Digital says, yeah, he got an interview with T. Rogers too. Yeah, you know what? I forgot about that. I need to watch that T. Rogers interview though. I know it's dope. Long live T. Rogers, man. Yeah, I need to check that one out. Freeze, what you think about Tariq Nasheed's fight about Mexican and Latinos disrespecting the origins of hip hop and lying about being co-creators? I seen a little bit about Tariq Nasheed saying something about that. I didn't really hear his whole. I didn't really get very far with it. I just seen like a little clip where he was talking about that. But so I don't know what his full argument is. I don't know enough about it to really speak on his or give my opinion on it. But as far as Latinos being co-creators of hip hop, I can't say for sure that they were, but again, I can't say for sure that they weren't, because you got to think about the birthplace of hip hop, the South Bronx. Now, for those of y'all who never been to the South Bronx, when you go to the South Bronx, one thing you gonna learn real quick is that it's heavily populated with Latinos. You dig? So as far as co-creators of hip hop, I can't really argue. Like if they say, if people from the South Bronx who was around, like you would have to talk to like a Cool Herc or, a Grandmaster Flash or somebody like that, to really know. They'd be able to tell you better than anybody. Or just, people from the South Bronx who was around back in those days, man, will be able to tell you better than anybody. But as far as Mexicans disrespecting the culture, and I'm sure he's talking about California Mexicans, this the thing, right? Now, what you got to understand about California is that, for those of y'all who not from California, as far as the Latinos in California, it's heavily political, and you have the northern Latinos who are from Northern California, and of course the southern Latinos who are from Southern California. Now, the gang affiliated southern Latinos are known as Sureños, Southsiders, and they are under the Mexican mafia. Northern California, they're Norteños or Northsiders, and they are under NF, Nuestro Familia. Now, with that being understood, right, they don't get along. Well, historically, they haven't gotten along with each other. I heard something in the past few years that, they've been working to be more peaceful with each other. I don't know how true that is, and that's state politics. I don't really know, so I can't really speak on it. But historically, they have been at odds with each other, right? And with them being at odds with one another, what ended up happening is the southern gangbangers from California, they aligned themselves with the white boys in prison known as the Woods, Aryan Nation, Nazi lowriders, things of that nature. And the northern Mexicans or northern gang affiliated Latinos, they aligned themselves with the black folks, Crips, Bloods, Kumi, Jama, 415, BGF, all that stuff, right? Now, with that being the case, the story for the northern Latinos is a lot different than the story for the southern Latinos. And, by Tariq Nasheed spending a lot of his time in Southern California, naturally he would have more experience with Southern California Latinos than he would Northern California Latinos. I don't believe Tariq Nasheed has ever been in the prison system. So, and not just that, I don't believe he's ever lived in Northern California. So he don't really understand the relations to our culture for the Northern Latinos, right? So, with that being said, by the Northern Latinos rocking with us a certain type of way, certain things might not be seen as disrespect coming from them. They would be seen as disrespect coming from the Southern Latinos. You know what I mean? Now, the Southern Latinos, like I said, they don't get along with the blacks. You know what I mean? For the most part, you have certain pockets of Southern California where the blacks and Latinos get along in certain little areas, but for the most part, blacks and Latinos don't get along in Southern California. So, in a lot of times, the aggression be from the Latinos in Southern California in like a racist type of fashion. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm talking from experience, and I'm not trying to bash them. I'm not trying to say anything that's unfair about them. I'm just speaking from my perspective as somebody that's born and raised in Southern California and has firsthand experience with them, right? It's just a reality that the Southern Latinos, the Southern gangbangers, which aren't all Latinos, you got Paisas that's not gang affiliated, civilians, things like that. I'm talking about the Southern California gangbanger Latinos. They historically have been racist towards black people. Now, again, from my experience, on the other hand, black people did gangbang, Crips, Bloods, Pyrus, Hoovers, neutral gangs, what have you. Their issues with the Southern California Latinos tend to be with the gangbangers, right? Now, give you an example of what I'm talking about. I can remember back in the 90s, right? A group of essays went to my auntie's church, right? They was having Bible study. They went to my auntie's church. This is back in the 90s. They went to my auntie's church and told the people at the church that they better be in the house by 8 o'clock because they have a curfew for black people. This is the essays enforcing this. The Southern California gangbangers going to a black church, telling the people at the black, and these are church going people. It wasn't no Crips and Bloods in this church. These are church going people's grandmothers, you know what I mean? People's mothers, people's grandfathers, stuff like that. They went and told them people they better be in the house by 8 o'clock. You know what I mean? Because they enforcing a curfew, and if they not in the house by 8 o'clock, it's going to be a problem. Right? This is the type of stuff that they have done historically. Now, somebody correct me if I'm wrong. If y'all got a story in the comments of, any time where black people, some Crips and some Bloods went to a Mexican church or a Latino church and told some abuelas and abuelos, and tias and all that type of stuff, hey, y'all better be in the house by 8 o'clock, or if you ain't, it's going to be a problem. I don't recall. I ain't never heard of no type of story like that. But if you have, let me know. But I'm telling you what I know from this is my auntie's church that they went to and did that. Right? My auntie ain't never been no gangbanger. You know what I mean? She ain't never been in the streets. She ain't never robbed nobody. She ain't never been no gun toter. She ain't never shot at nobody. My auntie is, a church going woman my whole life, you dig? And her kids' whole life, my cousins and shit, right? So that just gives you an idea of like Tariq Nasheed's perspective, being a black man you know, living in California, in Southern California for a long time, right? So, because I'm sure, just like the rest of us, Tariq Nasheed has had his encounters, you know, with essays, with Serenos, right? So, you know, that just gives you an idea of his perspective. Now, with that being understood, right, to give you to sum that part up, historically, Serenos, essays, Southern California Latino gang members have been racist towards not just black gangs, but black people, whether they gang bang or not, right? Whether they somebody's grandma or mama or not. Now, it's not to say that it ain't been no instances where a Crip or a Blood done did something to a non-gang banging Mexican family member, Mexican person's family member or something like that, because it definitely has gone on. But what I'm saying is, like for instance, if you black, it's not safe to be in East LA. You know what I mean? Like, it don't matter if you a gang member or not. It ain't, you know, that's one thing we've always known is that it ain't safe to be in East LA. East LA ain't somewhere you want to go if you black. You know what I mean? And, you know, historically it's been stories like that too, where, you know, it's been situations where, cause you know, black folks, just like Latinos, you know, end up in the projects. There's been situations because, you know, you got some projects that's predominantly black. You got some projects that's predominantly Mexican. And in East LA, obviously they projects is predominantly Mexican. But you have instances where black families might get placed over there and end up in their projects. Hey, man, it have been situations where they didn't terrorize black people. They wasn't gang members. You know what I mean? Just regular black families. Wasn't going over there pushing no line or nothing like that. You know, just going over there to live. And they was terrorizing them people, man, to run them up out of there just because they were black, not because they was Crips and Bloods or, you know, anything like that, just because they were black and they didn't want black people in their projects. You know what I mean? But yeah, so with that being understood, right? That's why when you hear essays slanging the N-word around, you know what I mean? Or, you know, like emulating the culture to a T. Now, you have Sereno rappers, right, that have their own style. And, you know, Chicano rappers, they call it, they got their own flavor, or historically they have. You know what I mean? The Chicano rappers, of course, by them being influenced by black folks, it's going to have a little influence, but they kind of evolved and developed their own flavor. The Chicano rappers did. But lately, the new generation of SA rappers, you know, they really got a lot of, it's like a lot of them like emulate the black LA rappers. You know what I mean? You got some, I ain't gonna point nobody out, but you got certain SA rappers that try to sound like Draco or try to sound like the Stink Team or try to sound like O3 Greedo and you know, whatever other LA rappers that's hot. You know what I mean? I'm sure you got some that try to sound like Big Sad and, you know, all whatever LA rappers is hot right now. You got SA rappers that's influenced by them. So they gonna try to sound like them, right? Try to emulate them and throw the N-word around. But, you know, you can't go to their hood and do nothing. You can't go to their restaurants in their neighborhood. This shit. Damn. Gotta turn these damn timers off. Okay. Yeah, but yeah, you can't. Yeah, I didn't want to say his name, Cinco Hawkins, because he no longer with us. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's the thing though. It's like if you gonna bite the style and then do it in a disrespectful way by saying the N-word, but then you hate blacks, not you hate Crips and Bloods, but you hate blacks. You know what I mean? That's, like I said, I don't know Tariq Nasheed's argument because I haven't watched the full extent of his breakdown of it. But I'm just telling you from my perspective. And I don't know if it's in agreement with what he's saying or along the same lines, but that's just the way it is in Southern California. You know what I mean? Oh no. Read some of these comments. Slick Rick say, I'm born and raised in Los Angeles, in and out of the jail system, juvenile halls to prison, free, speaking facts, no shade. Right, I'm not trying to like I said, Slick Rick, I'm not I'm not saying nothing unfair or I'm not lying on nobody. I'm just speaking the fact. Like, I'm from LA County, born and raised. You know what I mean? Mostly Long Beach, but I done lived in Pacoima, Panorama City, West LA. You know what I mean? I done been all over LA County. And as far as being in neighborhoods kicking it and shit, I done been all over LA County. But so I know what I'm saying is the truth. You dig? From experience. Like me, I'm a non-affiliate. I ain't never been courted on to nobody's set. But, shit, I done been in some sticky situations, man, just being a black man. Not a Crip or a Blood or a Pyru or a Hoover or nothing like that. I'm talking about just being a black man. I done been in some I done been in some sticky situations, boy. Shit. Situations. Plural. Sticky. Like, how the hell did I make it out of that shit type of shit? You know what I mean? So, yeah, I'm speaking what I know. Ebook says, in fairness though, Whack 100 made the same point with more insight. Yeah, it's just the fact. Slick Rick Freeze, remember the first 3 East Coasters was in East LA. The SA gangs came together to get rid of them. They didn't want no black gangs in East LA. Facts. Look it up, Google it. Yeah, I'm already knowing Slick Rick. Not just that, but they tore their projects down too, so that had a lot to do with it. But other than that though, nah, you definitely right. They they did not like the fact that the first 3 East Coasters was over there. They wasn't feeling that at all. And they had a stronghold. They wasn't no punks. You know what I mean? They was the lone wolves over there holding it down. And they had a long run over there too. So yeah, they wasn't feeling that. And just for the record, you know what I mean? I'm not, I'm black, so people will try to argue with me about that shit, but hey man, black folks, we can't be racist. That's my theory. You know what I mean? Because black folks ain't never oppressed nobody. Black folks have never done anything to somebody just because they are different than us. You know what I mean? Anything that black people might do is a reaction to what's been done to black people. So yeah, nah, we ain't racist. So with that being said, just me speaking for myself, I'm not racist towards anybody. I've never looked at somebody and said, you know what, I don't like them just because they not black. Right? I've never done that. You know what I mean? But far as like how certain people have treated us, you know what I mean? Yeah, I you know, I'm not gonna shy away from that. I'm not gonna speak nothing other than the facts when it comes to that. And with that being said, you know, I got a lot of love for Mexican people and Latinos, period. You know what I mean? A lot of love for Mexicans and Latinos. But essays though, you know, and then if you the type of essay that's cool, which that's rare, you know what I mean? Because this give you an idea how essays are, right? And Slick Rick, you know exactly what I'm talking about when I say what I'm about to say. But an essay you could grow up with from the sandbox. You know what I mean? Like y'all could be partners from the sandbox. You know what I mean? You used to spend the night at his house. He used to spend the night at your house. You know what I mean? Y'all used to play video games together. Y'all used to ride skateboards and bicycles and play baseball and football, basketball together, all the shit. You know what I mean? But once they hit them teenage years or them preteens or whatever, and they get courted on to that set, it's totally different. You know what I mean? Ain't no more hanging out with them. If they be with their homies and they see you, not only are they gonna act like they don't know you, but they gonna bang on you. They might do something to you. And this is somebody that you know they whole family and they know your whole family. But now because they an essay, that's over with. You know what I mean? That is over with. I know about that firsthand. You know what I mean? So I ain't mean to go too far into that, but you know, I just I just know I know a lot about that from experience, you know what I mean? So but yeah. Joe Lynn, good looking with the $5 holla. I can't get over hip hop being started by Bambaataa and you know, a G guy who messed with minors. Hey man. Well, you know, I wouldn't say that it was hip hop was started just by him. He's one of the originators, but you know, it wasn't just Bambaataa. You know what I mean? He is definitely a pioneer, but even if it was started by him, you know what I mean? Hey man, sometimes God work in mysterious ways and you know, you know, it be like that. But that doesn't speak for hip hop, and that doesn't speak for what hip hop stands for and what hip hop is about. You know what I mean? And, you know, everybody has good and bad about them. And some people have horrible things about themselves like that. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it's hella unfortunate, man, that he got that type of history and he got that type of shit floating in his system. But, you know, like I said, you don't want to look at it like that's a representation of hip hop, because it's not. You know what I mean? As you already know, shit, we all love hip hop. We all listen to hip hop. Some of us partake in hip hop one way or another through the, you know, 5 elements of hip hop. But you know, that right there don't have nothing to do with hip hop. So I mean, it's just unfortunate for him, you know, because you know he represented a big part of hip hop with the Zulu Nation and all of that, you know, and a lot of prominent people came from the Zulu Nation in hip hop. But yeah, it's, you know, it's all good though. Still, you know, hip hop is beautiful. I'm fortunate that it came to be, and that it is what it is. You dig? The only way 100 prison guards can control 500 inmates is keeping them beefing with each other. It's more to it than that, but that does have a lot of, that is a large part of the method to their madness, though. For real, for real. Here in the Midwest, we got Mexican GDs and Black Latin Kings. Yeah, you know, you got some of that going on the West Coast too, you know, especially in the black gangs. You got a lot of different neighborhoods that have a large population of Mexicans from their hood, like the Hoovers. The Hoovers got a lot of Mexicans from they shit. Uh, is different blood gangs too, different Crip gangs. They got a lot of Mexicans from they shit. Uh, as far as the essays, you know, that kind of like, it ain't so much of a thing like it used to be. Like, see, for people who don't really know the history of, you know, the politics, the street politics in Southern California, before things became how they are, you know, a lot of the black gangs and Latino gangs coexisted peacefully, right? It wasn't like a racial thing at first. And then you had certain gangs that had a lot of black members, you know, like Wasvadio Grape, you know. I don't know if Sepulveda the Prince is in here, but he know better than me, because, you know, that's his history. But the Wasvadio Grapes, you know, they had a moved them to Pacoima. Oh yeah, Perspective. You talking about the first streets? Hey, Perspective. I don't know if you was in here when I just was telling the story about my grandmother's church. The essays going to her churches back in the 90s. Essays went to her church and told the people in the church that they better be in the house by 8 o'clock because they putting a curfew on the blacks. That was in Pacoima. They went to my auntie's church in Pacoima and told the people in the church they better be in the house by 8 o'clock. Crazy. But no, see, what a lot of people don't know, and because I lived in Pacoima as a little kid, so I know, at the same time, it wasn't like the First Street East Coasters got ran up out of the Aliso Village, got ran up out of East LA and ran to Pacoima. No, that's not what happened. And I'm sure they could tell you better than me, but I just remember being a little kid and the First Streets was there at the same time in Pacoima that they was in Aliso Village. You know what I mean? They was existing at the same time. So I'm sure a lot of them ended up going to Pacoima once they didn't have a hood no more over there when they tore the Aliso Village down. But yeah, nah, back it was First Street East Coasters in Pacoima in the 80s. When I was a little boy, they was over there. So I don't know who took them there and when and all of that, but I know they was around when I was a little boy living out there. But yeah, like I was saying though, you know, speaking of Pacoima, A lot of people ain't gonna keep it real about that, but some of them essay gangs in Pacoima, I ain't gonna say, no particulars, but a lot of them, had a big part. They origins got a lot to do with the Bloods, with the Pyrus. You know what I mean? But what I'm saying is, back in the days, it was a time where it was a lot more black dudes from SA gangs. You don't really see it too much no more nowadays, as far as like newer generation blacks being from SA gangs, because of the racism. And that's a prime example. I'm glad you mentioned that ebooks about the way Chicago is, because that just goes to show you that black people in Southern California are not racist towards Mexicans, because a lot of the hoods in Southern California have Mexicans from their hood. And then you got some hoods that got a whole bunch of Mexicans from their hood. There's Crips and Bloods. So that just lets you know that it's not a racial thing with them. But you ain't going to go to no SA hood and find a whole bunch of blacks from their shit. Not in today's times. That's what you ain't going to see. So. Donnie, these elite people play chess. We as black people need to pay attention to this sudden concern who created hip hop and how other races are inserted into it for not to be our thing. Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing, like, that's one thing that cannot be debated. Now, whether or not Latinos had a hand in the origins of it, that can probably be debated, because like I said, the South Bronx is heavily populated with Puerto Ricans who are Latino. So, that can be debated. And I wouldn't, like, if certain people that come from back then was to say that, I'm not going to argue with them, especially if they was there when it took place. But one thing that can't be denied is that it is a black culture. Like black people made hip hop thrive. Black people were the majority of who pushed it forward. You know what I mean? Who went through all the, like, cause it was a time where they thought hip hop wasn't gonna last. If you go back to the 80s, a lot of hip hop artists wasn't getting played on the radio. They went through a lot of shit, them artists back in the days, and they was not balling at all. It wasn't no millionaire rappers in the 80s. It wasn't no rappers like living in mansions and all that type of stuff in the 80s. Like, that wasn't going on. It was some of them that was probably doing all right, but a lot of them famous rappers, shit. And then when they did start getting radio airplay and shit like that, they was still living with their mamas and shit, or living in a little raggedy apartment or something like that, while they was making these labels millions of dollars. You dig? So, but back in those days, rock and roll was the dominate, or punk rock and classic rock, that was the dominating force in music. So. With that being the case, shit, people didn't think hip hop was gonna last like it did. People didn't think hip hop would grow and evolve like it did. They thought the shit was only gonna last a few years and then play out and be over with. You know what I mean? But shit, look where we at now. It ain't doing nothing but getting stronger and stronger. It's funny to see, like, different sports analysts, or people on CNN and MSNBC. Like, I was watching, speaking of MSNBC, I was watching and I don't really watch MSNBC like that, because I just don't. But I seen a clip from MSNBC the other day, and they was talking about the history of political campaigns in New Hampshire. And they was talking about, people making comebacks in like different candidates, presidential candidates making comebacks in New Hampshire, right? And on the thumbnail of the clip, they had a picture of Donald Trump, they had a picture of Joe Biden, and they had a picture of LL Cool J. And I was thinking to myself, like, in the title of it was something about New Hampshire, right? I was thinking, like, damn, why they got MSNBC? Why they got a picture of LL on there? So then when I watched it, like I said, they was talking about different comebacks in New Hampshire and stuff like that. And then after they showed different clips, like they showed John McCain, they showed Bill Clinton, different presidential candidates from back in the day who made a comeback in New Hampshire. So at the end of those clips, the journalist was like, yeah, some people would say, don't call it a comeback in the words of LL Cool J, but apparently the people in New Hampshire would disagree. It is a comeback. So when I seen that shit, I was just like, damn, it's crazy how far hip hop done came because, see, people don't remember a time when hip hop was like taboo, where they wouldn't play hip hop in certain places that you would go. Like, you would never hear hip hop at Disneyland back in the day. You would never hear hip hop playing in a restaurant. Like if you go to a nice restaurant or something, you would never hear that. Just certain businesses that you would go to, you would never hear hip hop playing. Or, places where the radio might be playing. They like hip hop it was like a real taboo thing back in the day. A lot of y'all wasn't even born, or you might be too young to remember that. But I remember that even as a little boy, that like hip hop was like taboo. They just wouldn't, so especially not at like at sports games, like how they play hip hop at these sports games all the time. It wasn't like that back in the day. You know what I mean? Commercials on TV with hip hop, it wasn't like that back in the day. You wasn't seeing a whole bunch of hip hop on TV like that back in the day. You know what I mean? But what I'm saying is, us as black people is the ones that pushed it forward, that made that shit a force to be reckoned with. You know what I mean? Like shoved it down their throat. The shit was just, it was such a demand for it underground, and they seen so much money from the shit, so much potential. They was like, we gotta rock with this shit. We can't deny this. We can't leave this money on the table. You know what I mean? But it's almost like they was trying to hush it up back in the day. You know what I mean? And people that's older than me, I know y'all really know what I'm talking about. You dig? But like a lot of cities wouldn't even play rap. Like you wouldn't even be able to hear no rap. You wouldn't be able to find no rap music in the record store. You know what I mean? All that type of shit. You know? And it's not because it was a Latino culture that it was like that. It's because it was a black culture that it was like that. You know what I mean? It was a young, urban, black culture. It wasn't like they was like, man, we don't want to hear that Latino music up in here. You know what I mean? They was like, we don't want to hear that black music up in here. That's what they was saying. You know what I mean? We don't want to hear that jungle music. You know what I mean? We don't want to hear that jungle crap. You dig? That loud, unorthodox, music ain't even supposed to sound like that. What the hell is that? That noise. We don't want to hear that. Yeah. Right, like ebooks say, it was seen as a novelty in dad during the, I guess you meant to say fad. novelty and fad during the 80s. The 90s was due to gangster rap, due to profanity. Yeah. And I'm not, again, like I'm not saying nothing bad about Latinos. I'm just talking about as far as the origin of it. I don't know, but as far as who made hip hop what it is today, that can't be argued. That's black folks. That it ain't even no argument. And of course, you had Latinos that been there from the origins of it. You got white people that was even involved back in the days. You know what I mean? The Beastie Boys and not just that, but a lot of things that don't get talked about as far as hip hop that also had a lot to do with pushing the culture forward was the b-boy culture, the breakdancing, the pop locking and all that shit. You know what I mean? That had a lot to do with pushing hip hop forward too. And, the Latinos was heavily a part of that. And you had white boys that was a big part of that too. So yeah, they were involved, but it's what I'm talking about as far as people, if you want to say what people, made hip hop what it is, that's black folks. Wouldn't put it like this, wouldn't be no hip hop if it wasn't no black people involved. Wouldn't be no hip hop. Right, like Donnie Williams say, I would agree with that, Freeze. Trying to hush it up because it had a message at the time. Even in spite of the message, yeah, definitely that too. That was going on too. But even in spite of the message, just the fact that, like I like what Too Short said about it. The rap was kind of like the street news. He probably didn't say that verbatim, but he said something like to that effect. Like, the rap music kind of let you know what was going on in the hood at the time. You know what I mean? Like Too Short was rapping about shit that was going on in Oakland. NWA was rapping, Ice-T, they was rapping about shit. King T, they was rapping about shit that was going on in Compton and LA. You know what I mean? So it would kind of like give people a window to the streets, to the hood, let you know what's going on. So, and bring awareness to what's going on. Right, like ebooks say, a lot of black religious folks like Jesse Jackson and Dolores Tucker opposed it. Yeah, Reverend Calvin Butts was another one. You know what I mean? They for sure was opposing it. They was taking steamrollers and crushing a lot of people's music and shit like that, buying all the Death Row music and the Ruthless Records music and steamrolling it down and crushing all their music and shit like that. Yeah, Dolores Tucker was really tripping though. She was like the main one out of everybody. A lot of the rappers was had some choice words for her too. Let me see. Black is a big umbrella too. Tariq ignores Caribbean, Pan-Africans, and Afro-Latinos. I don't know why. I don't, again, I don't know Tariq's exact stance on that. But again, I just got to keep it 100. And I'm not saying for everybody, but you have a lot of those kinds of people that you just named that don't consider themselves black. You got a lot of quote unquote Afro-Latinos that don't consider themselves black, that don't acknowledge their blackness. You know what I mean? Caribbeans as well. You have a lot of Caribbeans, not all. Of course, some of them is, they can't deny their blackness. But you have some Caribbeans that don't acknowledge their blackness. You know what I mean? It's just a fact. But as far as Tariq, I don't know why he would not consider, people that's black. Just because they not, from the States or from Africa or whatever he considers black, I don't know. And rock, yeah, they did the same with disco, smashed them, and rock demonized it. Yeah. Big Pun was a big part of hip hop. Yeah, Big Pun definitely for sure. It wasn't just radio stations. Older black folks opposed it due to the profanity and sexual content. Yeah. Yeah, and see, they wasn't thinking about like the freedom of expression and the First Amendment right when it came to that. And you really have to thank people like Schoolie D, Ice-T, NWA. You really have to thank people like them as far as the profanity and stuff like that, because prior to them, a lot of rappers was like playing the game, so to speak, because they knew they knew that the cursing wasn't going to be well received. So in order to have a certain type of marketability and mass appeal, they was making the happy, peaceful music, and they wasn't really talking about the plight in the hood. But I ain't mad at them neither, though, because all of that shit was necessary in order to push hip hop forward. But nah, that's real though. A lot of older people didn't like that shit. Water Sign 10, good looking with the $5 holla. Are there any differences in tricks on what region you're in the U.S.? I mean, you got your different kind of tricks everywhere. I don't really see it as like a well, this is something that's regional, right? I could tell you a few things about tricks as far as being regional, right? One thing that is regional is, 304s dating black tricks, right? Now, while it may be becoming more popular on the West Coast, which I don't know why, it's crazy. But, I do know why, because rules and protocol and order and standards and just so much stuff is out the window. But mainly rules, right? But historically, the way the game has been, right? Dating black tricks would usually be like a Southern in certain parts of the East Coast. Certain parts of the South, certain parts of the East Coast is where, 304s would date black tricks. Right? So with that being said, it's not to say that there's no, cool black tricks on the West Coast, but the majority of them come with a lot of bullshit. Like it's too high of a likelihood for something to go bad with a black trick on the West Coast. And a lot of the culture is just different, right? Like in the South, the black tricks are proud to be tricks. They proud tricks in the South, right? Like it's a different type of culture. On the West Coast, if you a black trick, a lot of people gonna think you a sucker, even if they not in the game, even if they squares, right? Like squares gonna be looking at you like, oh, trick, you a trick, like you tricking on 304s, man. What's wrong with you? The squares is gonna look at you like that. So, with that being the case, like there's not really any pride among black tricks. Like the black tricks on the West Coast, for the most part, you probably got a few exceptions. There might be proud tricks, but for the most part, most tricks on the West Coast, they not proud tricks, right? So, with that being said, not only are they not proud tricks, but a lot of them think that they shouldn't have to trick, or that they're too good to trick, or I'm too fly to trick, or I'm too smart to trick, or I'm too much of a boss to trick. I'm too much of a reputable street dude to trick. You know what I mean? Like I'm too respected out here in these streets to be tricking on the 304. That's the mindset of a black trick on the West Coast. So with that being said, a lot of times the black trick on the West Coast gonna have some bullshit up his sleeve when he come across a 304. You know what I mean? He in his mind, 304, she might be game goofy, because if she dating a black trick on the West Coast, 9 times out of 10 she game goofy. But she don't know what to look for, so that's why she dating this black trick. But the black trick in his head the whole time might be like, man, shit, after I get done handling my business with this chick, man, I'm finna take that money right back. Hell nah, I ain't finna give this bitch this money, man. Shit, hell nah. You dead homies. It be shit like that. Whereas a black trick in the South, he gonna gladly trick. You know what I mean? He proud to trick. He cool with tricking. You dig? Like black tricks in the South, they be seeing who could trick the best, who could out trick who. You know what I mean? It's like a pride type of thing in the South. You know what I mean? So it's just, the culture is just different. So that's one thing regionally that's different as far as tricks. Let's see. Another thing that's different, now a real 304 with some game, right? If she got some good game and good guidance, a real 304 gonna be good no matter wherever she set her feet down at, right? But I will say that as far as like skinny girls and petite girls, they gonna have a much better time on the West Coast. It's more set up for them to win and thrive on the West Coast for petite women. Now, if you a thicker woman or a bigger woman, you gonna be better in the South or even certain parts of the Midwest. Now, on that same token, like if you a skinny girl and you ain't got no big butt and thick thighs and all of that, if you go to the South, you might have a difficult time. You know what I mean? Or not a difficult time, depending on how you apply yourself, but the thick girls and big girls in the South, they winning. You know what I mean? And vice versa. A thick girl or big girl on the West Coast, she might not do as well as she would in the South. Just like the thin girl, she might not do as well in the South as she would on the West Coast. So, of course, like I said, a 304 with some game and guidance, she gonna be good wherever she go. As long as she got some good game and some good guidance, it don't matter how big she is or where she is, she gonna be good. But I'm just saying, as far as like a general idea, right? But game time shit, freeze, don't put that on the South. Hey, it's the truth. Now as far as the big girls, that might not be everywhere in the South, but it's definitely certain parts of the South where a big girl is gonna be cool. You know what I mean? And as far as a thick girl, like big booty, big thighs, thick thighs, big titties, Man, the South, shit. You know damn well just about anywhere in the South, a thick woman gonna be cool. You dig? Ebooks say true, but Southern 304s are cheaper though. I don't know about that. I might have to disagree with you on that one, man. I'd say the West Coast is probably, well, I don't know the East Coast. They could be cheap too, but there's some cheap ones on the West Coast though. Let's see. Black guys not really tricks. Nah, game time. You can't say that neither, cause man, shit. I know in Florida, boy, them black tricks down there is proud black tricks, like real straight up tricks, proud. You know what I mean? DC too got a whole bunch of proud black tricks. The whole DMV area. You know what I mean? Shit. Definitely black trick stuff. You dig? South got the best bees, don't hate. I ain't gonna lie, I like Southern women, man. You know what I mean? Some of my favorite 304s and came out the South. You know? I like I talked about this before, but you know, I like different parts I like women from different parts of the country for different reasons. You know what I mean? Midwest women got the most heart. Don't argue with me. Argue with your phone or argue with yourself. Argue in the mirror. Don't argue with a pimp. Midwest women, as a group, as a whole, they got more heart than anybody. You know what I mean? Midwest women got the most heart. They are gangsters at heart. They might be small, might be petite. It don't matter about the size, physical size, the size of the heart, boy. Hey, the Midwest women got the most heart. She gonna hold in a snowstorm, blizzard, you know what I mean, hurricane, flood, tsunami, earthquake, you know what I mean? Whatever it is, the Midwest 304, she gonna go. You know what I mean? Gangland, war zone, man, the Midwest 304 is gonna go. She got heart, you know what I mean? I don't know if it's because of the weather conditions, and then if she might have came up in poverty. I don't know if it's something about the Midwest, man. They just got a heart out this world. Most of them, for the most part, Midwest women got the best heart. Southern women, a lot of times, is gonna be the most cooperative. You know, they gonna surrender themselves better than most women from other places. Southern women, you know, they gon' yes daddy. You know what I mean? Them Southern women got that yes daddy about them more than probably anywhere else. You know what I mean? East Coast women, I like them. They just be down. Like when they really like you, they gonna be down with you. You know what I mean? Like an East Coast woman, if she really like you, she ain't gonna have no problem letting you know. She ain't gonna try to act funny. You know what I mean? Like East Coast women are probably like some of the boldest. That's what I like about them East Coast women. You know what I mean? They be bold. You know? Like they ain't got a problem. If they feeling you, they gonna let you know. If they not feeling you, they gonna let you know. And you know, some of them can be disrespectful when they let you know they ain't feeling you, but some of them, you know, they know how to do it in a classy way. Let you know they ain't interested, man, and you can't do nothing but respect it. So I like the boldness of the East Coast women. West Coast, man, shit. I gotta say something good about the West Coast. Damn, I done said something good about everybody else. Said something good about the Midwest. I said something good about the South. I said something good about the East Coast. Yeah. Damn, man, Freeze, what you gonna say good about the West Coast, man? Something, you gotta say something. Man, I don't know, man. Shit, I don't know. I can't say nothing good about the West. Man, you gotta say something good about the West Coast, man. Come on, man. You from the West Coast, man. How you from the West Coast? You can't say nothing good. You said something good about all these places that you ain't from, but you can't say nothing about the place that you from? Come on, pimp. Damn, West Coast, man. Shit, West Coast. Let's see, man. West Coast, man. I'm bullshitting with y'all, man. But West Coast, what I like about West Coast women, it can be a good thing and a bad thing. What I like the most about West Coast women. West Coast women are the craftiest. And that craftiness can be used for very much good, or it could be used for very much bad. But when the craftiness is, that energy of the craftiness is used for very much good, hey man, West Coast women can be cold. You know? But West Coast women are the craftiest, like the most mischievous. You know what I mean? And you know, like I said, when that energy is channeled and harnessed for good, you know, they can see what it is, right? When I say crafty, a part of that craftiness is creativeness of the mind. You know what I mean? Like they can be very creative, you know, West Coast women. They can use their minds to do some beautiful things, man. You know, look at motor culture. I knew you was finna say something. I was waiting on you. I was waiting on you. She said, Freeze, you better come up with something good about the West Coast women you did. I already knew you was coming. But nah, like when it comes to the power of the mind, man, like in the way that they use their mind, like it's just something about West Coast women. Like when they apply their full mind to the game, it's cold. Like man, West Coast women do some cold shit. Like when they make their mind up that they gonna be really fully about the game, and then that creativeness that they have in their mind, that imagination that they have, when they apply that to the game, hey man, it's crazy. It's crazy. You know what I mean? So that's what I say about the West Coast women. Midwest women got the most heart. Southern women is going to fully surrender themselves and be the most cooperative. East Coast women are the boldest. And West Coast women are the I'll say the most creative. Yeah. Yep, so. But shout out to real 304s no matter where you're from. You dig? Water Sign 10, good looking with the $5 holla. What about people in general? You said Midwest people are funny. What about the other regions? Well, I said Chicago people are funny. I might have said Midwest people are funny too, but in particular Chicago for sure. You know what I mean? Or Illinois, I say. Illinois people are funny as hell. But it's funny because, you know, the hospitality thing really gets put on the South. In the South, yeah, they, you know, you can't really beat the South when it comes to hospitality. But I've experienced some good hospitality in the Midwest too, though. Certain parts, you know what I mean? Like the Midwest can be cool, but yeah, that's what I love about the South though. So the South, they hospitality just can't be matched, man. Like, and it ain't just like certain parts of the South, man. Like, of course, you know, you got certain parts or certain people in certain places where they they might not be as hospitable. But for the most part, though, just about anywhere in the South, man, the hospitality gonna be cool. You dig? So I rock with the hospitality of the South. East Coast people, I like they passion. Like East Coast people be passionate about whatever it is they believe. They serious. You know what I mean? East Coast people, they serious about whatever it is they passionate about, man. They serious about it. And they prideful. You know? That's what I like about the East Coast. Like how passionate they are, how prideful they are. Like, and then like New York in particular, right? I ain't talking about the whole East Coast. I'm just talking about New York in particular. One thing I like about New York, I don't know, I ain't been there in a while. So it might be a little different now with the newer generation. But back in the days, as far back as you go, when you go to New York, everywhere you go, you see people with a fitted cap on, they wearing a New York fitted cap. You know what I mean? They're not wearing fitted caps from every other place in the world, every other city in the country. They wearing New York hats. You know what I mean? I already know them hat stores with hats from other cities and states. Them hats probably collecting dust. You know what I mean? They sitting on the shelf collecting dust because New Yorkers, boy, they wearing New York hats and that's it. But it might be a little different now, though. I don't know. But New York people are prideful, super prideful about New York. But East Coast people in general, they be real passionate and prideful about, they shit. West Coast, I say West Coast people probably think the biggest. You know what I mean? Like some of the biggest ideas come from the West Coast. You know what I mean? And intelligent too. East Coast people are highly intelligent too. You know what I mean? I give them that too. Like, and not just intelligent, but like educated. You know what I mean? So, intellectual, educated, passionate, prideful. That's the East Coast. Hospitality, down to earth, helpful. If you ask for directions, they're going to give you the full layout. They're going to tell you the street. They're going to tell you the landmarks. You know what I mean? When you see the HEB right there, bust a right, you know what I mean? Or when you see the Waffle House, you're going to make a left. Not the first Waffle House, the second Waffle House, you know what I mean? Like, the South is like super helpful and super hospitable, But the West Coast, I would say, are just big thinkers. Like they have big visions, So yeah, as far as in general, that's what I got to say about each place. Extreme Picks say, nah, West Coast women. What you mean, nah, West Coast women? As far as what? How you feel about Canadian women? Lionel B says. Hey, I love Canadian women. Now, hey, shit. As far as cooperation, man, I don't know. Canadian, they might be some people that got the South beat as far as cooperation. Because when a Canadian woman rocking with you, boy, she gonna go all the way, man. Whatever it is, man. I done seen too many instances of it. And I've had, a few little short spurt experiences myself personally. But yeah, I really like Canadian women for sure. Yeah, Canadian women is cool. I lived in Texas for a year. I agree. They surrender. Right. Noah, you know what I'm talking about? Yeah, the Blue Yankees. Floyd, you already know, man. New Yorkers, boy, they is not wearing nothing. Every once in a while, you might see a Mets hat. But for sure, you're going to see the Yankees. You know what I mean? They rocking the Yankees tough. You know what I mean? And I've never seen another city that was like as prideful about their hats as New York is. You know what I mean? I'm talking about like, especially like you go to Manhattan and walk around, like everywhere you go, you're gonna see Yankees hats. You know what I mean? You go to the Bronx, everywhere you go, every hat you see is gonna be a Yankees hat. You know what I mean? You go to Brooklyn, same thing. Every borough, Queens, same thing. I ain't never been to Staten Island, so I can't say. But man, every borough you go to, man, you gonna see Yankees hats for sure. Shout out to New York. They dramatic. Yeah, East Coast people could be dramatic for sure. Ebooks says freeze. Aren't they mostly Native Americans over there? Native Americans where? What are you talking about? Super animated. Mr. LRPs, that's real talk. A New Yorker, they could tell you they super animated about everything. New Yorkers in particular. I don't know about the whole East Coast, but as far as animated, yeah, ain't nobody more animated than New York. You know what I mean? They could be telling you the simplest story. You know what I mean? Yo, check it out, yo. So, yo, man, I go to Mickey D's, right? You know what I mean? I walk up into Mickey D's, bro, and check it out, man. Word to my mother, yo. Word to my mother. I say good morning to the cashier. She just looked me dead in my eyes, yo, and she ain't say nothing to me, yo. Word to my mother. So disrespectful, right? So then I ordered the Egg McMuffin. No cheese. Bro, why they give me cheese on my Egg McMuffin when I tell them no cheese? Disrespectful. Word to my mother, yo. I almost wanted to snuff the person back there on the grill. Word to my mother, B. If I ain't have to be to work in 10 minutes, I would have hopped over the counter, man, and gave the dude on the grill $1.50, yo. Word to my mother, yo. I would be doing a bid right now over my Egg McMuffin, yo. Ah, man, that's New Yorkers for real. Oh, man. That's funny as hell. They do be like super animated about everything, man. Like everything. Hey, yo, so this morning, right? Man, I had my fresh pair of Uptowns, yo. Man, fresh pair of Uptowns. Yo, so when I was tying my shoes, right? Hey, yo, when you get a fresh pair of Uppies, yo, you can't just lace them and tie them any kind of way, yo. You got to tie your Uppies a certain type of way, yo. So check it, right? On the left shoe, right? Not the right shoe, son. You got to do the left shoe first, son. The left shoe, right? You put the lace in the right hole at the bottom over, not under. You can't lace your Uppies under. You got to lace your Uppies over, yo. You got to go over on the left side first on the left shoe, son. Then you put the right side of the lace in the right side over, not under, son. Make sure you don't do it under. You can't do it under, right? Then when you lace them, right, you lace them up. That same pattern, yo, you got to do the same pattern all the way to the top, son. And then when you tie them, you can't do the bunny ears, yo. Everybody be trying to do the bunny ears, son. You can't do the bunny ears, yo. Like, damn, nigga, you just talking about tying your shoes, man. Like, why you got to be so dramatic and animated? You like painting a picture. Like, I feel like I'm listening to a Biggie song. You know what I mean? It's just so damn animated. Like, today's agenda. Pack the suitcase up in the Centra. Go to room 112. Tell them Blanco sent you. Like, they do that about everything. Tying shoes, brushing their hair, you know what I mean? Brushing their teeth. You know what I mean? You're going to hear a whole colorful, animated story about a month just brushing their teeth. You know what I mean? Shout out to New York, though. I love New York. A lot of people who ain't from New York don't like New York, but I love New York though. Y'all stupid in these comments. Freeze, you sound like a son Campbell. Hey, nah. Hey, ebooks. Like, you might think my Hassan impersonation is cool, but man, can't nobody do Hassan like Sinful. Hey, Sinful's Hassan impersonation is stupid. Like, Sinful had Hassan down packed. Like, his oh man. Yeah, Sinful Hassan impersonation was stupid. Odessa say don't ask about they pizza versus New Jersey. Oh yeah, they gonna argue you down about they pizza versus anybody, especially New Jersey though, because New Jersey and New Yorkers, they can't stand each other. They right next to each other. Ain't that something? Y'all stupid in these comments. Right, laugh out loud. Sinful had him and Whack 100 perfectly on power. Yeah, he had Whack 100 good too. Whack 100 and Hassan, he had them fools good. Sinful was stupid as hell. Right, Sinful will always be the best. R.I.P. Phillip. Yes, indeed. Sin was a cold impressionist. Yeah, man, y'all think I'm good, man. Shit, Sin. Whoever he put his mind to, boy, he was good with the impersonations. But yeah, man, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this thing up, man. We've been rocking for what? Y'all been rocking with a pimp for like 3.5 hours, I think, man. Something like that, or over 3 hours. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this thing up in a minute, man. If y'all ain't wiped your feet off at the door when you stepped in, please wipe your feet off at the door on your way out while I hydrate my pimping one last time. You dig? Mr. LRP, stupid freeze got me dying. That's how they be sounding. Yeah. Nah, sent another impression that Sin be doing. He do a good New Orleans accent. Like Sin be having me dying when he do New Orleans. Shit. Sin funny as hell with that shit. Right. This won't take long. Indeed. Series 205 say glorious pimp on the outer. Indeed, man. But yeah, we gonna go ahead and wrap this thing on up, man. 3 hours. This didn't take long. Right, Diamond Dex, you already know this didn't take too long. 3 little hours, you know. But yeah, we gonna wrap this thing up, man. I appreciate y'all for tuning in and tapping in with a pimp. I appreciate you for all your comments, questions, input, feedback, insight, all that good shit. I appreciate you for sharing this video. I appreciate you for subscribing and hitting the bell when you subscribe. I appreciate all the Cash Apps, Super Chats, PayPals. I appreciate your support in every which way that you comes with it, man. Y'all already know who it is and what it is. Freeze is it. If you're out in traffic moving around, please do so in a safe fashion. And of course, as always, long live the incomparable Sinful to P. We out.